The Goalkeeper's Boo-Boo by Peter Tinniswood, with Paul McCrink as Raymond.
On the hump of a bridge. He stands on the hump of a bridge in an inland port that lost its boats. Alone on the hump of a solemn bridge in a northern town, a small man stands. The coal wharves are silent. The quays are silted. The bollards lie asquiff. Boats rot. The sodden corpses of narrow boats. Dumb barges. The towpath clinkered. Blank warehouses. Cocky watchmen's huts, dank and glum. The small man surveys them all. The kingdom of his dreams from the bridge's hump. And the distant floodlights soar, and the grandstands, distant from their subjects, gape. The stadium slumbers, smugly, distantly. All is distant, the distant crowd, the distant bargemen, distant glories. The small man muses. Raymond Lancaster. Our Ray. He muses, and he ponders, and he dreams. He dreams, for that is the stuff of his life.
2 of them. 2 giraffes. They died at sea. I read it in the paper.
Vesterkirk, long ball to Shield. Shield to Summersfink. Summersfink to... Oh, brilliant. Summersfink beats Harrison, nutmegs him, leaves him for Cole, sprawling in his wake and...
The Spaniards wouldn't let it land, the ship with the giraffes. So they had to put to sea, and the giraffes died. Just like that. I read it in the paper.
Danger here. Summersfink. Beautiful flick with the outside of the boot to Aschenbach. Jinx to his right, Jinx to his left, and he's clear. Aschenbach's clear. He's 2 men to his left. Strummer unmarked in front of goal. All he's got to do is cross the ball, and he's made a complete hash of it. Aschenbach, a wretched cross, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper Lancaster, and oh no, he's dropped it. It's a goal. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Strummer scored. He scored. A dreadful boo-boo by goalkeeper Ray Lancaster, and Strummer's pounced, and the crowd stunned. Absolutely gutted. They just can't believe it. They just can't.
They should be shot, those Spaniards. Those fishermen from the Shetlands. They should be put against a wall and shot.
A dreadful goal, Craig. A stinker. An absolute gift.
Oh, it certainly was, Alan. What's happened is the Germans went round the Norwegians, Ulf Peter Janssen. He's left him for dead. He's took the ball to the byline. He's crossed the ball, Alan. The goalies came for it unchallenged. No one's near him. He's went and flapped at it, Alan. Missed it completely, and the balls fell right to the feet of Stromer. And all what he's got to do, Alan, is toe poke it into the back of the
crowd
net.
just can't believe it. And skipper, big Jason Briggs, he's totally distraught. He's inconsolable, holding his head in his hands, literally. And oh, this is a disaster. What an utter, total, out-and-out boo-boo.
Those voices, Raymond's voices, the staff of his life, the stuff of his substance. Our Raymond. Without them, nothing. Nout. He leaves the hump of the bridge. No time to linger. Back to work, me lad. Our Ray. Our dinky little Raymond.
What I want to get clear in my mind, Raymond, is... Well, do you feel a special affinity towards giraffes?
No.
And turtles?
Not really.
He's back at work, our Raymond. Timid in the office of Miss Chilton. Ah, Miss Chilton. Secretary to Mr. Aston, the keyboard whisperer, the whisper and lisp of her perfume, another of his dreams. He garners her meagre favours like a peasant raking stones. He feasts off her shriven bounties like a shipwrecked sailor sucking at the sun.
What about football?
Oh, I can take it or leave it.
Oh, Raymond, you fibber.
No, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are. You're a fibber, and there's no getting away from it.
Well,
You're obsessed with it. Football. You are, aren't you?
no, I'm not. I'm not. Well, not really, I'm not.
Raymond,
Yeah?
do you think these little secret chats of ours are... Do you think they're doing you any good? Do you feel... well... Never mind. Same time next week? Shall you call in the office?
I can't.
Why not?
We're away.
Away?
It's the UEFA Cup second leg.
What?
Kaiserslautern. We're playing Kaiserslautern. It's in Germany. I looked it up. It's principal products are textiles, leatherwork and sewing machines. Kaiserslautern. That's where I'm going. If I'm picked, of course.
If you're picked? What do you mean, if you're picked?
They might not pick me. They might drop me.
Drop you? What on earth are you talking about? Oh, Raymond. Raymond, those dreams. They'll be the death of you, will those dreams of yours?
And now it's mother and Dawn, mother and wife. A slim-fingered mother, her gentility, her shyness, her fragile smile, her curiousness. The flubbery wife, her coarseness, the slouch of her jaw, the slack of her tongue, the whinge, the whine, the yaw of body and its heave.
It's when I go to the shops I can't stand it.
Fancy.
Well, whenever I go out, more like.
Fancy.
It's Raymond. Ever since he started his dreaming, ever since he started talking to himself, his voices harping on. You get these stares. Well, more than stares. The neighbours. They give you the finger. It's the women who's worst. They mutter at you. I was delivering Dudley to play school only this morning, and this fat woman in the people puller gave me a real jostling, and I fell back into the edge. And if I hadn't have had Dudley with me, I'd have had her. I would, no messing. Straight for the throat.
Fancy.
And for a moment, back through the years we slouch, and we see them. Side by side they sit, in the scrutty pub, after work. The lover and his lass. The smallness of the lover, his dreams, his innocence, his voices. The flubber of his lass, her coarseness, whinge and whine, yaw and heave.
Oh, you should have seen their faces in the salon when I told them.
Told them what?
About us getting married.
Oh.
I thought we could get married in Barbados. Would you like to get married in Barbados, Ray? Should we plump for Barbados, or would you rather we went elsewhere?
I think I'd rather we went elsewhere. If it's all the same to you.
I knew it. I knew that's what you'd say. I said to Winifred in the salon, I said, I bet he chickens out on Barbados. I bet he won't touch it with a barge pole. Oh, come here, you big softy. Give us a kiss. Oh, take us back to your place. Your mum will not be in. Go on, Ray. Go on. Take us back to your place. I'm all hot and ready and willing and eager and... Oh, Ray, do something. Don't just sit there all quiet and thoughtful and staring into space. Let's have some action. Show a sense of urgency, can't you?
And now the years slop forward to present day. And now he's married, our Raymond. And evening slinks and sidles around the wharves and quays, and mist dandles round the floodlight skirts, and the stadium dozes. Work is over, finished, done. Raymond has lurked in the damp, and Miss Chiltern has walked into his silly trap. She is bound for the cinema, with chicken breasts for supper and broccoli in her carrier bag, but she lingers nonetheless.
What's the matter, Raymond? What's to do with you?
I want to take a holiday.
Do you really, Raymond?
Yes. I don't want to play at Kaiserslautern. I want to get away from it all.
You do right, Raymond.
I want to take a plane to Bergen early in the morning, and I want to catch a steamer and set sail up the coast late at night. bound for the Arctic Ocean and the winter storms. I did it once before, when I was 22, just before I started here, just before I married Dawn, when my head was topsy-turvy and I flapped at everything that came along and missed it.
Have you been to Trondheim before, Raymond? It's got the most beautiful wooden cathedral, has Trondheim. A stave cathedral, they call it. If you come in early autumn, you can see the fieldfare and redwings still in their summer plumage.
I want to get away from all that.
Well, what, Raymond?
Fieldfare and redwing, all that crap. I've had enough of it. It's wearing me out. We came into this harbour early in the evening, far, far away in the high north. It was pitchy black. We sailed slowly into the gap in the hills, chugging, echoing, the water swishing, and the hills lit up. All of a sudden, little lights zigging and zagging and zinking down the slopes. They were the lights on the sledges of the people come to see us call. They stood on the jetty, stamping their feet and blowing into their clenched fists. They didn't speak, not a single solitary word. They just watched us. They stared at us without expression. We unloaded a few crates. We took on a cluster of antlers, and then we were off, and the lights flickered away up the hill into the blackness. And by the time we reached the open sea, the gap in the hills had vanished, and the northern lights were searing the sky, screeching it silently with slashes of gold and green, and slashing it with great icy globes of shimmering ghostly white, and I read it in a book.
The only thing I can surmise, Craig, is that the keeper must have had a total aberration. It was a totally innocuous
That's
quadra-
right, Alan. He's made a total cow's heel of it. What I think, Alan, is the lad was 2 or 3 moves ahead of himself when he's come out to collect the ball. He's seen the big fella, Briggs, stood there, totally unmarked. He's thought to himself, right, quick ball out to Briggsy.
Are you all right, Raymond?
What?
Is something the matter? You've gone all quiet, as though your mind's elsewhere. Is your mind elsewhere, Raymond? It is. What are you thinking about, Is it the giraffes?
What?
Do you feel a special affinity towards giraffes, Raymond?
No.
And turtles? What about turtles?
My wife's mother looks like a turtle.
Ah, now we're getting somewhere. Carry on, Raymond.
There's nothing more to say.
Oh, come, Raymond. Surely
There's nothing more to say. I've finished with all that.
Oh, what?
The chatter, the smart-ass diddly-da, the nidgety-nicky-no.
I don't follow, Raymond.
I served all through the First World War.
What?
I heard that, pardon. Aye, well, all that crap. All I've read, in the papers, in the books. I've done with it. Finito.
Next day, in the empty shipment bay, the mates, Raymond and Jason Briggs, podged of face, brawny, big-boned, bulky of belly, his red cheeks, his daft thumbs. He is puzzled.
I reckon he's sulking. I reckon he's got a right job on.
What? Who are you talking about, Briggsy?
The gaffer.
No, him.
Has he really not called you in?
No.
And he's not given you a bollocking neither?
No.
He's likely too busy thinking about his new whop.
What?
He's trying to sign another bloody whop. Any more of this and our dressing room will be like the inside of a bloody high-tie ice cream parlour. You want a cornetto, signorina? You want to make up your titties, signore? Yeah. And what about that bloody Romanian? Where does he come from, I'd like to know?
Romania?
Precisely. Arrest me bloody case.
And Raymond talks to the gaffer, Mr. Aston, with his damp ears and his mouth like a bag of whelks.
Christmas is the worst.
I beg your pardon, Raymond.
Christmas. There's no time for yourself. No time for the family. No time to relax. Travelling alarm clocks to the right of you. Travelling alarm clocks to the left of you. Presentation packs of moisturising cream. Electric kettles shaped like badgers. Pocket TVs for the mobile caravanette. Customised digital toasters. All the essential trappings for gracious living. All there. Pestering you, flustering you, putting you in a flap. What's it all about? What's the point?
The point, Raymond, is quality. Take our novelty underwear, for instance. Do you follow my meaning?
Yes, Mr. Aston.
It's no rubbish. Far from it. It's designed for the discerning, especially with them in mind. Do you follow my meaning?
Yes, Mr. Aston.
Imagine the object of your desires, Raymond, adorned and decked out in nothing but... You do have an object of your desires, I presume, Raymond?
Oh, yes, Mr. Aston. Certainly.
Well then, let us assume, for the sake of assumption, that the object of your desires is laying recumbent on the bed of carnal passions, adorned and decked out in nothing bar our matching black silk suspender belt and crotchless thong, and...
Goal! It's another goal! 7 minutes into the game, Chelsea lead 2-0, and it's another desperate mistake by Lancaster that's opened the floodgates, and they're really in trouble.
Miss Chilton, filling her transparent hot water bottle from her badger kettle, smelling sweet from her herbal salts, the black silk bra and the crotchless thong lying careless on the leather footstool. She frees her blonde hair from its elastic band. Her hair tumbles over her shoulders. She slips off her robe and slithers naked into bed between the black silk sheets. Oh, Miss Chilton, let me rub you slowly from head to foot with moisturising cream from our presentation pack, only £22.75p. 2 for £39.99 special offer.
And Lancaster is all over the shop, Craig.
Oh, he certainly is, Alan. It's as though, well, how shall I put it, Alan? It's for all the world as though the lad stood there dreaming of rubbing scented potions and herbal unguents over the pliant naked body, Alan, of a blonde young lady, Alan, and she's squirming with passion as his dexterous hands caress the cool and secret recesses of her pliant, yielding body, Alan, and...
Goal! It's another goal! Chelsea have scored their third goal, and once again, Lancaster was nowhere to be seen. This is a living nightmare for him, Craig. What on earth has got into him? What we're witnessing is, I fear, the total breakdown of... And it's Chelsea streaming into the attack again. And Dungannon hits the ball first time. Oh! Wicked deflection off Briggs. And the ball just skids inches past the near post. Lancaster rooted to the spot. Literally, he was nowhere to be seen.
If they hadn't pulled the turtle from the water to cut away the tangle of ropes, it wouldn't have died. They dragged it out of its element. The shock killed it. What's my natural element?
And what is the natural element of Dawn and Mother? The gossiping gate? Over the garden wall? Heaving up bosoms, pursing lips, scowling, sneering, shrivelled North Country sneers? Dawn is rampant. Mother dreams. Softly.
It can't go on like this no longer.
No.
I'm just a figure of scorn at the shopping mall. They hate me out there, they do. They hate my guts, the women.
Fancy.
And they're taking it out of Dudley at school. The kids. They're forever slagging off his dad. And then they're getting him in a corner, our Dudley, and cuffing him and hacking at his ankles and prodding him and poking him and... What does he do? Raymond? Nothing. Nout. They lose 4-0 to Chelsea. And what does he do to help Dudley? Nothing. He won't lift a finger. I know you're his mother, but it can't go on. It can't. We've got a life to live out there, in the real world.
I know you have done. I know. He were a lovely lad when he were a lad, were our Raymond. So gentle, so quiet, a right little gentleman. And then he grew up and married her. The slag, the bike, Dudley. What sort of a name's Dudley?
Stick. What sort of name is Stick?
What?
In the shipment bay once more, the mates. The mates and a three-legged cat snuffling their sandwiches.
Stick? What does he want to buy a Norwegian for? We've already got one. Bloody Norwegians. Why have they got so many Christian names? They've got at least 2 Christian names besides the proper one. And the buggers always use them. Why? They don't call me Jason Ernest. They don't call you Raymond. Have you got a second name?
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me what it is?
No.
You're a funny one, you. 4-0 we lose to Chelsea. And yet you don't give a shite. You don't, do you?
What?
Chelsea. All they are is a load of wops and jippos.
Wir sind nicht Zigeuner im grünen Wagen.
You are?
Thomas Mann. We are not gypsies in green caravans. That's what he wrote, Thomas Mann. He was a German. They told us at school.
He was scholarly too, when he were a lad at school, was Raymond. A right little scholar he was. Always did well at school. Always.
It is genteel, that parlour. Mother's parlour, with the seashells on the mantelpiece, and the snapshots on the piano top, and the cabinet with the scratchy china, and the nicks and the knacks, and the piano stool stuffed with knitting patterns. And in that parlour, Mother ponders. She muses.
He went to the grammar, did Raymond. He was always in the top form, always. He was a great reader. Never had his nose out of a book. I used to let him read when he was having his tea. Well, took his mind off his dad slurping his custard and dunking his gravy. And it gave him an insight into things, new worlds. It gave him an insight into new worlds. Reading.
Dudley! That's a cat you're doing that to! It's not a bag of coke! It's a living human being! It's not... Dudley! Stop it!
He was a real all-rounder at school, our Raymond. He was good at lessons, and he was good at sport too, in his own way. The only regret I've got was that they never made him a prefect. I didn't mind him not being a prefect as such. What I minded was he was lumped with all the others who weren't made prefects. And it stuck. In later life it stuck. Mind you, he was very good at ballroom dancing. His teacher said he'd got feet like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
Well, that just serves you right, Dudley. That's what cats have got claws for. That's why they use them. You never saw your dad ill-treating animals like that. He was far too
kind to ill-treat animals, our Raymond. He loved animals. He loved them. I was convinced he'd turn into a lion tamer. But no. When he left school, he went to work in the mail-order warehouse and...
Dudley! Dudley! Oh, you little bugger! You are rubbish, you! You're rubbish!
Yes? Who is it? Come in. Raymond.
Can I come in?
Of course you can, Raymond. Come in.
Thank you. Hope I'm not...
No, you're not intruding, Raymond.
Yes. Well, I know I'm not due to come till after Kaiserslautern, but...
But what, Raymond?
Yes. Well...
And they're off. Miss Chilton is sitting at the desk to our left, and Raymond is sitting at the desk to our right. And Miss Chilton is smiling warmly. Yes, there's definitely a friendly smile on her face. And Raymond looks disconcerted. This is a sensational start. Only 20 seconds on the clock, and Craig.
Yes, Alan, it certainly is. What she done was, Alan, she's put her foot right out and swiveled round with her left foot, and the lad sat there, Alan, and he's just not in the right position to counter the move.
And he's looking for support, Craig. He's waiting for... And she sat on the desk.
Oh.
Miss Chilton has perched herself on the edge of the desk in front of him. And this is sensational. The hem of her skirt has risen slightly to expose her left knee. Craig.
Yes, Alan, there's definitely an expanse of stocking revealed there, Alan.
I'm sorry to butt in, Craig, but she's speaking to him. Yes, she's talking to Raymond.
Does Mr. Aston know you're here, Raymond?
No. No one knows I'm here.
What about Dawn? Does she know you're here?
Oh, no. Her above all.
Well then, Raymond.
Aye. Well...
Raymond. What's that supposed to mean? Never mind, Raymond. just relax. Don't be so tense. Just relax and tell me why you've come. Go on, Raymond. Go on.
He looks at her, deep into her eyes. She smiles. She nods. But he cannot speak. The words stick. All he can do is ponder and muse and dream. He turns his head away from her, and he hears those voices again. His voice, other people's voices, clamouring, pleading for attention. Those voices.
Goalkeeper. To be a goalkeeper. The keeper. What an honour. The last line of defence. The custodian. To be deemed a custodian. What more could a man ask of his destiny? The custodian. Isolated. The guardian of the net. The custodian of dreams. The proud defender of other people's dreams and aspirations. The wondrous isolation. The lonely comforts. The awesome responsibility. Between the sticks. The sleet. The rain. The hail. Beating down. Your jersey sodden. Your chest chattering. The spurt of mud between the teeth. The gritty clay upon the tongue. The fall to earth. Thump. Clump. Leaping here, leaping there, diving, punching, flapping. The cheers. The groans. The dreams. The memories. The voices.
He never had his nose out of a book, hadn't Raymond? Always let him read at meal times. Took his mind off his dad's smoker's cough. Books and comics. He never had his nose out of them.
Hotspur, Rover, Adventure and Wizard, Nick Smith, Baldy Hogan, Cannonball Kid, the heroes of the Albran and the butter-clogged golden syrup.
You're always reading, you. You never taken a notice of nothing to no one, you. You've not a clue about what's going on around you. All you care about is your bloody books. Well, one day, mate. Just you wait and see. One day.
He's stood there. And you can see it. You can see his mind's not there. His mind's somewhere else. For Christ's sake, Ray! Organise your wall! Get it sorted out! Sort yourself out! Move! Shift yourself!
Waiting there. On your line, between the sticks. The floodlights swirling the rain. The ball far out to your left. The voices of the crowd swelling behind you. You tense, on your toes, your senses searing. Over comes the ball. You watch it like a peregrine. Its flight, its speed, its height. The ball, its roundness, its presence, its intrusion. Suddenly it's part of your being. It's part of your soul. Of an instant it becomes your whole life. Nothing else matters. That ball, curling, spinning, fizzing in the rain. You leap, you reach out, stretching out, stretching. You take it into your hands. It comes to rest in your grasp. Round, plump, yielding. You clutch it to your midriff. You turn your shoulder to the earth. Down you fall, down you roll. The ball tight in your palms against your belly and the smoothness of your inside arms. You love her, secure and safe. You love her, safe in your arms.
Oh, a lovely take by the goalie. Superb, brilliant, top drawer. That really is goalkeeping at its very best grade.
It certainly is, Alan. And what he's done, Alan, is the lad's never took his eyes off the ball for an instant. He's dominated his area, Alan. He's claimed his space. He's claimed his dues, Alan. It's for all the world, Alan, like Ulysses coming home, Alan, to claim the favours of Penelope for his own bodily delectation.
Oh, Miss Chilton. Miss Chilton, come closer to me. Snuggle into me. Let me kiss that roundness, that smoothness, that gorgeous, glorious smoothness. Oh, Miss Chilton, intrude on me. Intrude.
I've been to the Citizens' Advice.
Fancy.
I've told them the situation. I said it couldn't go on no more.
Fancy.
Suggested counselling.
What for?
For me and Ray. See if we could patch things up.
Fancy?
Patch things up, I said. You've got to be joking. Patch things up. Who wants to patch things up with a no-hoper like him? I know he's your son, but if he doesn't shift from playing classic FM on the wireless all day, I'll bloody kill him, I will. Honest to God, I will.
So, Raymond, why have you come?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. I mean, yes. Yes, I do know.
And?
I was wondering...
Yes, Raymond.
I was wondering if you could meet me.
But that's what I'm doing now, Raymond. I'm meeting you here. Right now.
I don't mean here. I don't mean now. I mean somewhere else. Some other time. Would you? I could rent a room. You can rent rooms for the afternoon. They have a double bed and a washstand, and you look out over the rooftops and the Pantals and the Swifts, swooping and screeching, and they have a concierge with a sallow skin and creased teeth and a snappy dog we know where. We could rent a room like that. Miss Chilton? You're not listening, are you, Miss Chilton?
Oh, yes, Raymond. I'm listening. You were saying?
Meanwhile...
Oh, come on. Jason, come on, come on. You can't stop now. You can't. Oh. Please. Please, please, Jason. Please. Please. No. No.
Raymond? Raymond, are you paying attention?
What's that?
Is there something on your mind, Raymond? Is there something mithering you? Do you follow my meaning?
I'm not sure, Mr. Aston.
Well, let me put it this way, Raymond. Have you any bothers of a conjugal nature? Do you follow my meaning?
I'm not sure, Mr. Aston.
Well, let me put it this way, Raymond. Let me put it discreet and tactful. Is Dawn keeping you short?
I beg your pardon, Mr. Aston.
Dawn? On the how's your father front? Is she keeping you up to scratch? Do you follow my meaning? Well, maybe it's Dudley. I have in concerns re Dudley. Is he sticking his fingers in the Hoover? Is he tampering with his guinea pigs? Is that it, Raymond? Raymond, are you paying attention?
I beg your pardon, Mr. Aston.
You're dreaming again, aren't you?
Yes, Mr. Aston.
What about, Raymond? For thump's sake, lad. It's 10:30 in the morning and you were dreaming. What are you dreaming about at this time of day?
Giraffes.
What?
And giant turtles. They killed them. The Spaniards. And the men from the Shetlands. They killed them. And it was wanton. I read it in the paper.
This won't do, Raymond. Do you follow my meaning?
Yes, Mr. Aston.
Your mind's not on your work. It hasn't been for weeks and weeks. Your mind is elsewhere, constant. And it's affecting your work. Your work's suffering something grievous. Do you follow my meaning?
Yes, Mr. Aston.
Well then, Raymond, think on. Think on, lad.
Meanwhile...
For God's sake, Dawn, what are you doing now?
I'm trying to get your kecks off.
Not here. Not in the car. Not in full daylight.
So? Who's worried?
I am. Someone might see us.
Oh, not here. No one comes up here this time of day. Oh, come on, Jason. Come on, let's get stuck in.
What's that?
What's what?
That noise, that creaking.
Oh, it's the windmill.
What windmill?
That one in the wind farm yonder. Going round and round in the wind. On its own. All solitary, all gaunt, all aloof. Just like Ray. Oh, spit image of Ray. Flapping its arms in the wind.
Oh, bloody hell, Dawn.
Round and round, going nowhere. Do it, Jason. Now. Now. Do it. Do it.
Hasn't no one told you, Raymond?
Told me what?
You know.
I don't. What are you talking about?
I don't know what to say, Raymond. I don't know how to break it to you. You've been dropped. For the match, for the UEFA Cup, they've dropped you. You'll be on bench, but the gaffer's made you sub, but he's dropped you. Have you heard what I'm saying, Ray?
Yes.
I heard it on wireless this morning.
Right.
Have you understood? Has it sunk in?
Yeah.
Well then.
I'm not bothered one way or the other, Jason. I've other things on my mind. I've far more important matters to contend with. Anyway, I never really fancied playing in Kaiserslautern.
Where does Kaiserslautern come into it?
That's where the match is. The UEFA Cup.
It's in Turin, Ray. The match is in Turin.
I've made a mess of things, haven't I?
Why do you say that, Raymond?
I've been too forward. Asking to meet you. On our own. I should never have proposed it. It was very wrong of me. Aye. Well. I'd best be going. I'm sorry to have barged in without an appointment. Unexpected. Right then. I'll be off. I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
I don't mind.
What?
I'd like to meet you. It'd be nice, just the two of us.
What?
You can come to my place.
What?
But not yet. When the match is over, you can come to my place then. When you get back from where you're playing.
Turin.
What?
I got it wrong.
Look as though you mean it, Jason. Put some welly in. You clock down. What's up, Jason? What's to do with you?
Ray,
You what?
he got it wrong.
You what? I don't believe this. What the bloody hell are you talking about?
Ray, he got it wrong.
I'm going home. You're rubbish, you. You're just like the rest of them bloody football lot. Rubbish. All you think about is yourselves, never mind no one else. It's just yourselves ganging up against the rest of us. I'm sick of being left out. I'm sick of... Oh, come on, Jason. Don't let's row. Let's put another video on. Have you got a mucky one? Let's be romantic. Let's ring for pizza. Oh, Jason. Shit! The leg's gone into cramp.
We flew over the Alps to get to Turin. They were beautiful, the Alps. Most of the lads played cards. Briggsy ogled the stewardess. I looked out of the window, at the Alps, and I thought, and I pondered about things that were said.
You can come to my place, Raymond, but not yet. You can come when the match is over.
Have you not twigged what's going on, lad? Has it not occurred to you what she's up to?
And crucially, Craig, crucial to the whole game plan, indeed to the very outcome of the match, the result of the tie, is the dropping of goalkeeper Ray Lancaster.
It certainly is, Alan. You see, what the manager's done, Alan, is he's took a long, hard look at his defensive options, Alan, and he's decided to take a huge gamble by bringing in the lad Duckworth in the hope that the defensive uncertainties, Alan, engendered by the out-of-form Lancaster will be resolved by the infusion of new blood, Alan, at the same time knowing that if he went too far,
He's having it off with her right, left and centre. Your best friend's manking around with your wife, rampant and unconcealed, and all you can do is bury your head in a book. It's all the talk. It is, lad. It's all the talk, and all you can think about is...
Your future prospects, Raymond. Do you follow my meaning? You've got to be thinking of your prospects. Raymond! Are you paying attention, Raymond?
And we flew over the Alps on our way to Turin.
Raymond, for Pete's sake, pay attention, lad!
We crossed the muddy sea. We crossed the plains. The foothills came to greet us. The mountains soared out the peaks to us. And all the time I pondered. All the time I reflected on what had happened. On what had been said.
Does your wife pack up for you, Raymond? Or do you pack up for yourself? I wish I had someone to pack up for me. I have to pack up for myself. Do you think Jason Briggs packs up for himself? He hasn't got a wife, so maybe he has to, unless he lives with his mother. Does he live with his mother, do you know, Raymond? Or does he live on his own?
Why don't you invite that Jason round sometime? If he lives on his own, as you say he does, he'd be glad of the company. I'll not do no cooking, but we could have an Indian takeaway and then go to the pub and... Raymond, I'm talking to you. Take your nose out of that bloody book. Take them bloody earphones off, will you, and give over listening to that bloody music.
You to fasten your seatbelt, Ray.
What?
Fasten your seatbelt. We're coming into land.
Right. And so we landed in Turin. And the air was clear and sharp. And it was cold and brisk. And in the distance, the snow-capped peaks snapped like sharks at the blue dazzled sky. And it was grand to be there, in Turin, in the cold.
The day of the match.
That's right, Mr. Aston.
I wonder how they'll get on, my lads. I wonder how they'll fare. Do you follow my meaning?
Perfectly, Mr. Aston.
They've got a goal to make up. An away goal, too. Rather them than me.
Quite right, Mr. Aston.
I bet Raymond and Jason are in the right fervour by now. They'll be locked in front of the telly in Raymond's back parlour, and they'll not budge an inch till the match is over. Not a fraction. They come out in fungus on their legs rather than move whilst the match is on. Do you follow my meaning?
Certainly, Mr. Aston.
Do you think they'll cope, Miss Chilton?
I'm certain they will, Mr. Aston. Especially Jason.
Oh, he'll cope all right, will Jason. But what about Raymond? That's what's uppermost in my mind at this juncture in time. Do you follow my meaning, Miss Chilton?
I most certainly do, Mr. Aston.
And the good news, Craig, here in Turin is there's been absolutely no trouble with the 2,000 to 3,000 fans who've flown out here to sunny Italy. Kick-off time's in about half an hour, and they're filing into the ground in high good spirits. And as I say, Craig, there hasn't been a scintilla of trouble.
There most certainly hasn't, Alan. What they've done, Alan, is they've come over here to enjoy themselves. But at the same time, Alan, they've been very mindful of the necessity, Alan, of fitting in with their host's way of life and customs. And on that score, they've went out of their way to avoid any mention of wops and spaghetti bashers and fat women with hairy legs, husky voices and drooping bedongas. There's been no arson that I'm aware of. Rape and pillage has been at an absolute minimum, Alan. So have public garrottings and mass suicides. There's been no disembowelings to speak of. And their behaviour...
Right then, lads. Are we ready? Yeah! Let's go then! Let's go!
And here they come, the two teams stepping out side by side. This is drama, Craig. This is pure theatre. This is the genuine arena of the gladiators.
And it's all eyes, Alan, on the young debutant keeper Chris Duckworth, who, in a dramatic move, Alan, the manager has went and preferred to regular custodian Ray Lancaster. And I must say, Alan, from up here, the boy looks a picture of coolness and calm.
It's nice sitting on the bench, all wrapped up, safe, secure, obscure, no worries, watching, listening.
And we're off. And straight away, Posey sends a long ball down the right. It's much too far for Lampedusa, and Richie Harrison has all the time in the world. Harrison shows his experience by rolling the ball back to Duckworth to give the lad a first touch of the ball early on, Craig.
Yes, Alan, and I'm reminded here of the poem by well-known poet and cleric John Donne entitled No Man is an Island. And the gist of that poem, Alan, is at this level of football, Alan, the scales of mutual dependency, Alan, are weighed equally between all levels of mankind's existence, as sensate be. beings. And if the bell tolls...
And this is drama, this is pure theatre. Sorry to interrupt you, Craig, but Duckworth has collapsed. He's writhing on the ground in obvious distress and agony.
And what he's done, Alan, is the boys panicked, and he's took a fly hack at the back pass from Harrison, and he's obviously completely mistimed it, and it looks like...
It certainly does, Craig. Ruptured Achilles, no doubt about it. Duckworth is out of the match. Chris Duckworth is injured. He'll take no further part in the match.
It's so quiet. There's total silence. I trot onto the pitch. Briggsy says something to me, but I don't hear a word. The crowd is swaying. I see the gape of the mouths. I see the bulge of their eyes. I see the flush of the cheeks. Mouths opening and shutting, but I don't hear a sound. All is quiet. All is serene.
Oh, a brilliant save! Lancaster flew through the air, literally and unbelievably. He turned the ball around the post and tipped it over the bar. Oh, he's hurled himself to his left and save! What a magnificent save! Oh, sensational save! 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 Save!
It's dead silence here in the dressing room at half-time. People are slapping me on the back. They're jabbering at me. The gaffer's rabbiting like a maniac. They're laughing. They're giggling. I don't hear a word. Nothing. It's quiet. And it's still. The referee's got a lovely smile. Very warm. Very comforting. We scored a goal in the first half. It's 1-1 now.
Yes, it's even Stevens as the teams kick off for the second half, and if Lancaster can keep up and maintain the fantastic form of the first half, then...
No, it's another amazing save, Alan. Oh, what it is, Alan. It's as though the lad has ventured into the scenario like a tense and taut character from a short story by Catherine Mansfield, with that typical inner turmoil tempered by a cool and cynical stoicism.
Oh, that is just sensational. Sorry to interrupt you, Craig, but that save was truly miraculous. Oh, and another, and another, and another. Save, 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 save.
And the minutes are ticking away, Alan. It's 1-1. And if the score remains the same, Alan, then we'll be talking in terms of a penalty shootout scenario. And Alan...
And it's an incredible save. Lancaster did a complete backflip. I swear it. He did a complete backflip, literally. And somehow, incredibly, miraculously managed to... This is undoubtedly one of the greatest displays of goalkeeping ever seen.
So quiet. So still. So silent. 2 giraffes. Dead. A giant turtle. Dead. So peaceful. So calm. Miss Chiltern. I shall take flowers to her place. She'll greet me at the door in a shift. A gossamer thin and slinky shift.
Posey again, looking for space on the left. Finds the Dutchman Van Donken on the edge of the box, but there's no way through. Van Donken's forced to roll the ball back to Lampedusa.
Let's not bother about food, she'll say. Miss Chiltern. Let's repair to my room, to my bedroom, where it's dusky, where it's scented, and the sheets are slithery and black and silk.
And Lampedusa's running out of options. He's got to flick the ball to Posey, and there are signs of frustration creeping into the Italian...
And she slips off my clothes, Miss Chiltern, and I tingle all over. I throb.
And Posey hoists up a long, aimless lob into the penalty area.
And she draws me into a soft and silky bed, and I feel her warmth, and I reach for...
Lancaster reaches out for the ball. He takes it.
I take her breasts in my hands, her smooth breasts, her plump and yielding breast, and...
He's dropped it! Lancaster has dropped the ball, and it's a goal! Lampedusa has scored! This is truly sensational! Lampedusa has scored, and the referee's whistle goes almost immediately. The match is over. It's all over. And the Italians have won the match.
Oh, yes, Alan. In the final seconds, the man they call the Leopard has scored, Alan. And this is tragedy, Alan. This is the stuff of William Shakespeare and Anton Chekhov and the young Arnold Wesker. This is the core of the post-Kafkaesque ironic id facing the forces of nature.
I don't understand, Raymond. You of all people, you, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Steadfast, Mr. Responsible, and you do this to me.
I'm sorry, Mr. Aston.
Without so much as a by-your-leave or kiss me backside, you open off to tour in. No notice, no warning. You just disappear for 5 days, and then you turn up and you have the cheek, the brazen effrontery and the gall to tell me you missed your plane, you spent all your money and you had to be repatriated by the British consul. Why, Raymond?
I wanted to see the match, Mr. Aston. I've supported the Reds ever since I was a little lad. They've been my whole life, and this match was so important, and I'd been saving up for this trip for weeks and weeks, and then after we'd lost, Jason Briggs and I, well, we went out to drown our sorrows, and, well, we met these two ladies, and they took us to this nightclub, and, well, we left the club, and we climbed these rickety steps, and there were shutters banging on the landings, and we bumped into a man clutching his trousers, and
very slowly, very softly, very sadly, he rises from his seat.
Yes, Alan. What he's done is the lads rose from his seat and silently went out of the room. And Alan, it's obvious that the lad has lost his job at the warehouse. And like a lonely hangdog lover from a novel by Sybil Bedford, or a short story by William Trevor, Alan, the lad,
as though in a trance, he walks along the cindery scrunching of the towpath. The waters of the canal are streaked with oil, and a swan drifts haughtily by, with a scum mark across its breast.
And after a while, Alan, after a while he comes to a row of terraced houses in a cobbled street. The houses are neat, Alan, well maintained, no slates missing off the roofs, flashings in excellent order, Alan. The doors are painted bright, blue, red, green, ochre, terracotta, jaunty, sprightly, Nordic, Ibsenish, a touch of Stendhal here and there. And he pauses in front of one of those doors, Alan, and he knocks on the door. And after a while, a young lady opens the door and says,
Raymond, what are you doing here?
You told me to come.
What?
You said I could come after the match.
What? What are you talking about?
When I came to your office, I asked if we could meet, and you said we could.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about the other day when you...
Shush. Hold on. Shush.
Come on. What are you doing? Who is it?
It's all right. It's just someone from work. I'll soon get rid of him. Oh. He's gone. He's gone.
He's gone. No. I'm still here. The dream is over. But I'm still here. You bastard! Call yourself a goalkeeper? You didn't give a monkeys. So we win. So we lose. What's it to you? You draw your dosh just the same. You waddle the golf course. You wallow the nightclub. You miserable, smug, self-satisfied, vain, conceited, idle, useless bastard. I put my whole life into you. I poured every scrap and atom of my being into you. You were my hero. I was you. I lived my life through you. It was you that kept me going through the long, endless nothingness. And what did you do for me? You treated me like shit, like you do to all of us. You treat us like shit, the fans. You milk us, you drain us, and then you spew us out. You despise us. You'll never walk alone. Too bloody true you won't. You need us. Without us, you are nothing. Just you try and walk alone. Try it, you'll see. You'll see, my friends of straw and sullen spittle. 2 giraffes. They got them. A giant turtle. They got him. But they haven't got me. Oh no. I'm still here. God. What a boo-boo.
On the hump of the bridge, he stands alone, the small man. The floodlights soar their glare into the sky. The floodlights blaze night. The grandstands chatter and growl and thrum. The stadium throbs and heaves like an ocean liner shackled in an inland port that has lost its boats. The small man leaves the hump of the bridge. His step is brisk. His eyes are bright. The lights pull him onwards. He cannot resist them. He does not want to resist them. There is a smile on his face. He has business to attend to in that stadium with all the other mugs and suckers. Our Ray, our dinky little Raymond.
In The Goalkeeper's Boo-Boo by Peter Tinniswood, Paul McCrink was Raymond and Helen Longworth Miss Chiltern. Fiona Clark played Dawn, Barbara Martin Mother, Everil A. Walsh Briggs, and Stephen Thorne Mr. Aston. Alan was Alan Green and Craig Mark Chatterton. The narrator was Ian McDermott. Original music was composed and performed by Nina Perry. The Goalkeeper's Boo-Boo was directed by Gordon House.
Lancaster police have today widened their search for the missing toddler, Lawrence Ellis, who disappeared from a local beauty spot 2 days ago. The 14-month-old boy was last seen playing near to the Butterfly House in Williamson Park at around 6 o'clock on Wednesday evening. At press appeal earlier today, the toddler's mother, Rachel Ellis, spoke of their ordeal.
Anyone knows anything, has seen him, or knows where he is, then please tell us. All we want is to have Lawrence back home, safe, so we can get on with our lives.
Lying Undiscovered by Richard Monks.
I was frightened to hold him when he was first born. Somehow I thought I'd damage him. Those perfect little fingers, fragile as a butterfly's wings. Then one day, before I had a chance to really know him, my perfect little angel flew away. I used to tell myself that he was out there somewhere, flying in the warm air, out of harm's way.
I've been looking all over. What are you doing hiding up here?
Nothing.
Wow. That is some sky. Penny for him?
I wouldn't waste your money. You've heard him all 1,000 times.
Come on, everyone's waiting.
Do I have to?
It's your party.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rachel. Happy birthday to you. Hey!
Big puff.
No.
Oh, come on, it's not every day you're 40.
21 if you don't mind. That's how old I was when I got pregnant. Mum went mad. Wanted me to get rid of it and finish teacher training. I couldn't have an abortion, though. Not in a million years. So I packed in the course, moved in with Colin and got a job at the Butterfly House, helping out till the baby was born.
Happy birthday, love. You'll never guess who I bumped into this afternoon. Jack Corey. Has to be remembered to you. Detective Inspector now. Yeah.
They never did find him. After a couple of months, they scaled down the search. Gave up, Colin reckoned. It was my fault, though. I've always said that. Since day one. If I'd been a better mother, he'd still be here now. With me.
The phone's off the hook. What?
Wait, Colin? Colin, how long has the phone been off the hook?
No idea. Hey, we better get a push on, or else we're going to miss happy hour. Come on. Here we go. Bottoms up.
How many of those have you had?
Don't know, but I'm feeling younger already. Fireman just asking for ID.
He didn't have a guide dog with him, did he?
Hey.
It was Colin's solution to everything. Booze. That's what lost him his job at British Aerospace. He used to turn up totally plastered after Lawrence disappeared. They warned him often enough, but he took no notice. After that, he got a job driving the video van around the estates.
Hang on, Avril's here. Bloody hell, what's she nearly not wearing?
Hiya! Happy birthday, Rachel. Hey, I didn't think you were coming.
Wouldn't miss your birthday. I packed the kids off to Phil's for the weekend. Oh, God, there's some talent in here tonight.
Fancy a boogie?
Too right. Come on, Rach. Let's show them how it's done.
I'll be back in a minute.
Where you off to?
They say time's a great healer. But even after 20 years, it still hurt as much as ever. There wasn't a day went by when I didn't think about him.
Hello, this is Colin and Rachel Ellis. If it's you, Lawrence, or maybe your name's not Lawrence anymore, but if it is you, then I'm still here. You have no new messages.
There were times when I thought I heard him, faintly on the other end of the line. And I imagined him standing in a call box somewhere, alone in some big city, trying to reach me.
Oh, God knows what your cal's been popping. He's bouncing off the walls out there.
Who are you phoning?
No one.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Come on, what's up?
I'm fine.
So why the face like Jimmy Hill? Come on, get it off your tits, girl.
You'll just think I'm stupid.
I think that already.
All right. Colin changed the lottery numbers last week.
You are?
He says they never won.
And you're married with him because of that?
Told you.
I'm sorry. Go on.
We've always done birthdays. Mine, his, and Lawrence's. Every time his number comes up, I somehow think, well, it's like a sign. Like he's still alive. Oh, I told you it was stupid.
Not if it's what keeps you going, girl.
You know, you're the only one who ever asked about him. Everyone else steers clear. They're petrified I'll burst into tears.
Yeah, well, I'm still his godmother, aren't I? Poor little sod.
You might not be so little anymore.
Oh, bloody hell, look at that. Carl's been at my nippy again. I could kill the little bug. It's into everything at the moment. I couldn't nick yours, could I?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, Tar. Hey, there's a bloke out there with the cutest arse you've ever seen. If he doesn't cheer you up, nothing will.
Where am I meant to be looking?
6 o'clock.
By the bar.
young, isn't he?
So long as he presses the right buttons, I don't care how old he is.
Oh, shit, he's looking at us. What'll we do? Don't ask me. The only person I've ever chatted up's Colin.
I remember you offered him a refresher.
Well, it worked.
Somehow I don't think this one's the refresher sort. Oh, my God! He's coming over!
All right, girls, sweat to you, what?
Out the way!
What?
Ab's about to tap off. Where's he gone? I can't see him anymore.
Oh, thanks a bunch, Colin, you great donkey.
What?
You just scared off Brad Pitt's better-looking twin brother.
Take it! Come on, let's go! Leave it!
And this bloody great pig sticks out into the river!
Rich, taxi dear.
Oh, can't we stay a bit longer?
Oh, I better go on home before I turn into a pumpkin.
Here's your coat, love.
Hey, it's been a good crack tonight. It makes a change to see you enjoying yourself.
I'm not that much of a miserable cow, am I?
You can be, sometimes.
Hey, you! Shut up,
Cab's over here.
Hey, up. What's going on?
I'll go after the steak, mate.
Looks like someone's been twatted.
Come on, get in.
All right. Keep your hair on.
In.
Mrs. Ellis?
Yes?
Martin Cottrell, Loseley and White estate agents, come to measure you up.
I'm sorry.
Your husband asked us to give you a valuation on your property.
Did he? But we're not moving.
There's never been a better time. The market's extremely buoyant at the moment. We've just sold your neighbour's house, 2 doors down.
I don't care. He shouldn't have rung you.
Oh.
I'm sorry, he's wasted your time.
Who was that? What's wrong?
What were you going to do? Tell me after the removal men have been.
What?
Where were you planning on moving to?
Oh, shit. I knew you'd be like this.
So why did you do it?
Why not?
You know why not.
He's not coming back, love.
You used to think he would.
Do you know how much they got for next door? 98 grand. I only paid 25 for this place, and they haven't even had the loft done.
I'm not moving, full stop.
Oh, well, let's at least discuss it.
Well, like you did? Getting him round without even mentioning it. Anyway, there's nothing to discuss. I'll see you later.
For God's sake.
The house was Colin's big thing. Spent years doing it up. And while he was knocking down walls, I'd be sat up in the clock tower, on the roof of the butterfly house. You can see for miles up there, across the town to the sea, and beyond that to the shipyards at Barrow. Somehow, I thought that if he was out there, I'd see him coming, walking across the sands, smiling at me.
Rachel, phone call. Who is it? Didn't say.
Hello?
Rachel?
Yes?
It's Jack Corey. Are you still there?
What do you want?
I think you might need to sit down.
You found him.
We're not sure.
What do you mean?
A young man was admitted to the infirmary last week. He'd been mugged in town. They found a silver christening bracelet in his jacket with your son's initials engraved on it. Rachel?
Oh, what does he say?
Nothing yet. They think he's got amnesia. tried the missing persons register fingerprint. No one seems to know who he is, including him. That doesn't mean it's Lawrence, though, either.
Why else would he have his christening bracelet?
Maybe he picked it up somewhere, or it could be someone else's initials, similar, we don't know.
You said he was the same age.
Roughly. They thought you talking to him might help jog his memory one way or the other. There, in the corner.
I've seen him before.
Are you sure?
Yeah, positive.
Where?
Idols.
They found him on the ground outside the club. He'd received multiple blows to his skull.
We got your message. Came as quick as that could. Colin? Jack?
Yeah, he was the one Av was eyeing up. He must have recognised us.
It's been a while, love. He's hardly going to remember what we look like.
A baby recognises its mother from 12 weeks.
He doesn't look like either of us.
How can you tell? He's covered in bruises.
Security tape show him being dragged into the alley where he was beaten and robbed. Obviously, we're trying to trace his attackers. Usually they just take the cash, the credit cards and whatever and dump the wallet. We found nothing yet.
It wasn't the first time we'd had our hopes raised. There'd been sightings before, over the years, but never anything concrete. We'd never come so close that I could actually touch him. And I made a wish, while we waited to be let in, that this time it really was him.
Help! Somebody, please help me! Help me, please!
Hey, all right, look, what is it?
I can't find him. He's gone.
Who has?
We were just in the playground.
All right, look, calm down.
Oscar Delta 19 to control. Passing the Wyesdale Road entrance now. No sign of him yet. Over.
We seemed to go round in circles for hours, up and down Quernmore Road, scouring the side streets. Eventually he pulled over. It was dark by then. And I remember sitting there, in the front of the police car, watching the wipers going back and forth, sweeping away the drops of rain.
You're shivering. Where's your coat?
Dunno. And all I could think about was the midwife lifting him out of the birthing pool. And him screaming his little lungs out.
I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I hope you're right.
Well, you don't act like it.
We've been here before. I just don't want to see you hurt again. Let's just take it slowly, one step at a time.
I am.
You made up your mind the minute you walked in here. Be honest. At least wait until you've identified him properly before getting all excited.
I couldn't help it, though. 20 years of not knowing. And there he was. Our son. Fully grown.
Here you go, got some coffee.
Thanks.
I wasn't sure if you still took sugar.
She doesn't.
Still not ready for us?
Not yet.
We watched through the window while the consultants came and went. And as we stood there together, I caught sight of Jack's reflection in the glass, looking not into the ward, but at the back of my neck, just like before. I didn't notice him at first, standing in the hall behind the others. They'd given me a sedative when Lawrence first disappeared to calm me down, stop me doing anything stupid. He sat at the end of the settee and introduced himself while the other officers poked about the house.
My name's PC Jack Corey, Family Liaison Officer. It's my job to look after you, keep you informed as to what's going on. To help try and make sense of all this.
What is going on?
We have to check all the likely places he might be.
Well, he's not here. He would have noticed by now.
Once the others had gone, we just sat there, the three of us. And it felt strange. Like all this was going on, but I wasn't a part of it.
Is there anything you'd like to ask me?
Where is he?
I wish I could tell you.
What happens now?
Well, a search coordinator will be appointed. He'll most likely want to sweep the park. It sounds ominous, I know. But most missing persons turn up safe and well. Do you think you could face going through what happened one more time? Just to make sure that we've got it right.
I'll try.
You were in the park. What time was it?
4:30. 5.
And where was Lawrence?
Everywhere. The little monkey. On the swings. Crawling up and down the slide.
Then what?
Well, the next minute he was gone.
And where were you?
I'd just gone over to put something in the bin.
A sandwich?
That's right.
And the bin was...
It's just the other side of the railings.
How long did you leave him for, roughly?
I don't know. A couple of minutes. I could hear him jabbering on.
Then what?
I went back, and like I say, he'd just vanished. So I ran down the path, shouting, yelling my head off. I thought he might have come back to see the ducks.
Did you pass anyone jogging or walking the dog?
No.
It's all right.
Did you see anyone at all on your way in or while Lawrence was playing?
Not that I noticed.
Take your time, love.
There was a bloke near the barrier. Looked like he was waiting for someone.
Okay, good. Can you remember what he looked like?
Not really.
Black? White, Asian?
White.
How tall?
Average. It's my sort of height, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Hair?
Dark.
Did he have a beard or a moustache?
It was stubbly, sort of.
Mm-hmm. And what was he wearing?
Leather jacket. Oh, I can't remember. He had an earring.
Excellent.
There must be something we can do. Just feel so helpless.
I know.
Have you got kids?
No.
Then how could you know?
I can imagine.
Well, you must have one hell of an imagination.
Colin!
It's all right. There is actually something.
What?
It would help if we had a photo of Lawrence. Or even a video.
We've loads. From the minute he was born.
Line up. We're looking for anything. Pieces of clothing.
There must have been 100 or so lined up across the park. Dogs sniffing at the frozen ground. We watched them on the news, moving slowly across the grass, hacking at the undergrowth. And then they showed Lawrence's picture. Of him beaming. Just his face. I knew straight away which photo it was. We'd just bought him his first proper pair of shoes. And he was so pleased.
Here you go. Got you a couple of magazines.
Where's Jack?
No idea. I've squared it with Murdo. He's covering my round until we know, one way or the other.
I thought you'd already decided.
No, I'm just keeping an open mind. For all we know, he could be any Tom, Dick or Harry. He wouldn't be the first to string us along.
That was different. He wasn't right up top. His key worker said as much.
And who's to say this one's not the full shilling?
He doesn't look the sort.
Well, neither do half the nutters on Garban Ward.
Everything all right?
Thanks to you, she's getting herself all hyped up.
I am not.
She doesn't even realise she's doing it. It's the same in town, shopping her at the pictures when she spots someone she reckons is him. I mean, we followed lads home before now. Sat in the car for hours outside their houses. And of course, they never are, though, are they?
You can go in now.
My name's Detective Inspector Jack Corey. This is Rachel and Colin Ellis. We'd like to talk to you, ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Yeah.
20 years ago, Colin and Rachel lost their baby. We think it may have been taken. Now, he had the same initials that appear on the bracelet found in your jacket. Do those initials LE mean anything to you?
Nope.
Do you remember how you got the bracelet?
Nope.
Were you given it by someone? Did you find it?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you remember anything about the night of the attack?
No.
We saw you inside the club. Me and Avi. You were looking at us.
You were looking at his tits more like, along with everyone else.
Do you remember how you got there?
No.
By train or bus?
I don't know.
This is getting us nowhere fast.
Give him a chance.
I think maybe we should call it a day. He's getting tired.
Please, just a bit longer.
Maybe tomorrow.
What I don't get is what's he doing even carrying the christening bracelet round in his pocket? Unless he nicked it or was going to flog it.
It's a special to him. It's part of who he is. His identity.
Well, whoever took him, they'd have called him something different, wouldn't they? It wouldn't be Lawrence Ellis anymore.
There were swarms of journalists when the news first broke, camped across the street, snapping away at me, crying at the window. Splashed across the front pages, every mother's nightmare. From then on, Jack made sure we kept the curtains drawn shut. Told us not to answer the door, even to the postman. He did all that, all the popping down to the spa, while we sat waiting for the phone to ring. Waiting for news they'd found him safe and well. Words I knew deep down would never hear.
Hello? No, I'm afraid not.
Who was that?
The Gazette.
What did they want?
Same as all the others.
Avi had one of them follow her down Correction House Hill yesterday after she left.
What would you think to a press appeal?
On the box?
Oh, I don't know.
It's nothing to worry about.
I wouldn't know what to say.
Well, you wouldn't have to say much. I could help you write something. The SIO thinks it might be a good idea at this stage.
What do you mean, this stage? What stage?
What's happened?
Nothing's happened.
Then why now?
Capitalise on public interest while it's still fresh in people's minds.
He's been taken, hasn't he? Hasn't he?
We can't rule it out.
Why don't you just bloody say, instead of beating about the bush?
All right. It seems more than likely, yes.
It's him, isn't it? That bloke by the gates.
We don't know for sure. But if Lawrence had just wandered off, we probably would have found him by now.
What sort of person would take a child?
We all knew the answer, but no one replied. And while we were sat in the dark with reporters camped outside, the police were knocking on the doors of all known paedophiles.
Very impressive.
Colin installed it after Lawrence disappeared. Case of shutting the stable door after the horses bolted, if you ask me. We've nothing left worth taking. Do you want a coffee?
Is he not here?
It's fishing.
Yeah, why not?
Excuse the mess.
What's all this?
Newspaper cuttings. I've got scrapbooks full of them upstairs. Videos too. Anytime they mention Lawrence, I tape it. I go through them every now and again, when Colin's not around.
Amazing. You remember the earring?
What?
The artist's impression. You must have an eye for details.
I do. First thing I noticed about you in the hospital was that you weren't wearing your wedding ring.
No.
Is that a temporary or a permanent thing?
Permanent. It's fairly amicable. It was the case that did it. Made the mistake of taking it home with me.
You're not blaming me, I hope. I've got enough guilt of my own without taking on anyone else's.
No, no. Anyway, that's enough about me. How have you been?
Well, I'm still alive, thanks to this little lot. These help me to get up in the morning, and these send me back to sleep. I'm not really aware what happens in between. I suppose you could call it living.
I thought of you the other day.
On or off duty?
I was over in Morecambe.
Bad luck.
I saw that dog pulling itself along the front.
What speedy Gonzales?
Yeah. Same little wooden cart.
He must be ancient by now.
Yeah.
Forgot my bait box.
All right, Colin.
Jack gave me a lift back from the hospital.
I see. Left me maggots.
In the fridge, by the butter.
I'll probably have a drink after. Don't wait up.
Don't worry, I won't.
How are things between you two?
Well, we're in separate beds, if that's what you mean.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a miracle we're still together, really. I suppose we need each other. That's what it comes down to. Apart from you, no one else could possibly understand what we've been through. What are you looking at me like that for?
Does he ever tell you how beautiful you are?
Not anymore.
You should.
No.
I'm sorry.
Forget it. Just forget it.
Well, it's easier said than done. I've been trying for years.
Change the subject.
Why?
Because it can't happen.
Colin doesn't think it's Lawrence, does he?
You noticed?
What if he's right?
There was a time I thought he was dead too. I was certain of it, in fact. But as the years have gone by, I've become less and less sure. You'd think it'd be the other way around, wouldn't you? Jack was already at the hospital when we arrived next morning, sat by his bed with a tape recorder. They said he'd had a good night, so they let us in. He was nice, the neurologist, Mr. Desai. Just had a little boy of his own.
Anything?
Not as such. We've made some progress on the attackers, though. Picked up 2 lads last night. Nothing yet on the wallet. Said they chucked it over a wall. What have you got there?
Just a few photos. Thought it might help. He didn't say much. Not at first. Just lay there, looking at the pictures while I turned the pages. There's you at the butterfly house. I used to take you there in your Moses basket. The butterflies used to land on your face when you were asleep. There's your nan.
I'll leave you to it. I've got to make some calls.
And Grandpa Hayton having a quiet cig.
Does any of this ring any bells?
No.
Of course not.
His memory won't come back just like that. Wham, they said. He'll start remembering bits, slowly.
Not these bits he won't. For God's sake, Rach, what are you expecting?
You're not helping.
Jack should never have phoned. They've been pissing in the dark right from the start. Whole bloody investigation's been a farce. I'll tell you something. He doesn't give a toss about us. It's how it looks on his CV. That's why he's here now, clutching at straws. The fact of the matter is, we still don't know who the hell he is.
I do. Like Lazarus, he'd come back to me. My beautiful little angel, blown in on a warm wind.
Well, keep looking. It can't have just disappeared. And see if you can dig out the original witness statements. I wouldn't mind having a look at them.
Sorry.
Avril!
We'll talk later, bye.
Long time no see.
Not long enough, if you ask me.
Wow, gloves off already. You're looking well.
Excuse me? If you're going to see Rachel, she's the other way. 3rd floor. St. Thomas's ward.
Nice to see you, too.
Hiya!
All right.
They said it was okay to come in.
I was just showing Lawrence a photo of you.
Rachel.
This is Avril, your godmother.
Hello.
It was Avi who gave you the bracelet.
Ratner's special. No expense spared.
That was a lovely thought. Oh, look, there's you in your cot. I made Colin go out and buy everything brand new. I wasn't going to have anything second-hand for my baby. It looked beautiful, too. Proper little nursery it was. Like you see in kids' books. And after Lawrence disappeared, I used to sleep in his too small bed, curled up with my feet pressed against the end, wishing I'd never been born. I doubt if any of you can imagine what we're going through right now. The hell of not knowing. It's impossible to describe. I was terrified. Sat behind a long table, cameras flashing. And as I spoke, all I could do was stare at a jug of water in front of me. Watch the ripples bouncing off the sides as I rocked against the table. I didn't really know what I was saying. The words themselves just came spilling out. I remember the jug, though. The water lapping, like it was yesterday. All we want is to have Lawrence back home. Safe. So we can get on with our lives.
Why don't you ask him if he's gay?
What's that got to do with anything?
We remember that much, I bet. Especially with all these nurses around. Do you not want your chips?
Why don't you go home if you're going to be like this?
Not being like anything.
You are. You know you are. Gannett.
Well, honestly, he's barely come round and you're force-feeding him with family history.
It might help.
Who?
I'm going back to the ward.
I'll see you up there.
Yeah, I might have a fag first. Bloody hell, Cole. There's no doubt in her mind, is there?
No.
She's going to have one hell of a bump if it turns out not to be him.
When? I'll come out with you. I could do with a puff myself. She won't take it from me. Just thinks I'm having a go at her. Same as after Lawrence was born.
I remember she gave her a hard time.
She was up and down like a flipping yo-yo. Oh, I'm just worried it's going to happen all over again. Because, I mean, it can. At any time, not just after you've had a baby.
Well, we'll just have to be ready with the crash mat then.
Oh, here's Plod. Any news?
Well, we chartered 2 with assault. Still no joy with the wallet, though. They can't remember where they threw it, which is hardly surprising, considering they were high as kites.
Yeah, and what about these voice specialists?
Well, they think he may originally have come from the Bristol area, well-educated, spent some time in London. We're still checking up on colleges. I'm afraid it's not much to go on.
I better go, Carl. Boss will be here in a minute.
See you later.
The next step's a DNA test.
Fine by me. At least we'd know, one way or the other.
Lawrence, it's me. Mr. Desai said I could have 5 minutes.
Can I have some water, please?
Of course you can, love. Here you go. Now, tilt your head forward a bit. That's it. It's okay, I've got the glass.
Oh.
It's enough.
Thank you.
It's what mothers are for. And I'm not going to let go of you this time either. You know, Colin wanted a memorial service to say our goodbyes. I wouldn't let him, though. I knew you were still alive. Oh, here. I've got some more photos.
Pablo! Hang on a minute. What is it I'm meant to have done?
Why you?
What do you mean?
They could have sent anyone. Why did you have to come?
Just tying up loose ends, that's all.
You're the last person she needs around right now.
Sorry?
It's Rachel you should be apologising to, not me.
What do you mean?
Just count yourself lucky Colin never found out.
What are you talking about?
Morecambe.
Morecambe?
She told me everything. Is that how you get your kicks, trying this on with vulnerable women?
Oh, now, wait a minute.
She saw you as a friend and you took advantage.
No, nothing happened then.
Why would she lie?
You tell me.
It had been Colin's idea. A day out, just me and Jack, while he sorted things out at work. We stood on the front feeding the gulls, and for the first time I forgot about what had happened. Just for a second. Look at that dog. It's only got 2 legs.
Wonder if he's got a disabled parking sticker for that thing.
You know, I should never have left him.
Oh, you can't watch him every minute of the day. You mustn't do this to yourself. You don't deserve it.
How do you know?
I know you well enough by now.
Did you know that this is where we came for our honeymoon?
No.
Well, there you go. You don't know everything. Yeah, we stayed over there at the Midlands. Pissed down every day.
What did you do? Stay in bed and eat potted shrimps?
Well, you're right about the first bit. Does she know you're here?
Who?
Your wife.
Oh, she's not interested in my work.
Is that what I am? Just another job?
How did you and Colin meet?
School.
And you've been together ever since?
More or less. We split up once. Just for a few months, just to see if the grass really was greener on the other side of the fence.
And was it?
No.
Have you ever been unfaithful?
Not yet. You?
I haven't been married long enough. Maybe the gulls ate it.
What?
Your sandwich in the park.
I thought you were off duty.
Sorry.
I've told you what happened.
I know. It's the DI. He's been wondering about the bloke with the earring as well.
Oh, what about him?
Well, it's just that you can remember that, even which ear it was in, yet you don't know what colour trousers he was wearing.
I'm not interested in trousers. Anyway, it's Lawrence you should be looking for. That bloody Starnies.
How are you getting on?
They're just taking him for another scan.
Oh, that's it. Just get you into the chair.
I wondered if I could have a quick word.
I'll see you later, love.
Day room's empty. How'd you sort Avril outside?
To speak to?
Briefly. She doesn't like me, does she?
You're a policeman.
No, it's more than that. She said something odd.
What?
About the time we went to Morecambe.
Well, what about it?
That I tried to seduce you.
Where did she get that idea from?
I thought you might know.
No.
I wondered if it came from you.
Why would I tell her that?
That's what I've been trying to figure out. I may have wanted to, but I certainly didn't do anything about it. She's held it against me for 20 years.
That's ridiculous.
Well, why would you think it, though? Someone must have put the idea in her head to start with.
Police today staged a reconstruction in Williamson Park with a young WPC retracing the steps of Rachel Ellis. With still no sign of baby Lawrence, police today staged a reconstruction in Williamson Park.
Your witness statement's yours for.
Thanks, Lily.
With still no sign
Hang on a minute. Tell me what you see
What?
on the video.
A woman walking through the park, carrying a boy. Why?
What else?
Nothing.
What's she wearing?
Jeans, trainers, green shirt.
Anything else?
No.
No.
Is that it?
For the time being. If I turn anything up in this slot, I might need you to knock on a few doors.
There you go. You didn't have haddock, so I got your cod instead.
Any ketchup?
Oh, bugger. I'll get you some.
Hello?
It's Jack.
What do you want?
Just to let you know, we're going ahead with a DNA test. Colin's already agreed. We'd like to take a swab from you as well.
I don't need a lab technician to tell me who he is.
It can simply confirm what you already know.
I don't need it confirmed. He's back now. Why can't you just leave us alone?
Who was that?
No one. I knew what it was leading to. Dredging it all up again. Bloody Jack. Sorry I'm late. I hear you've had visitors.
Just the police.
They didn't waste much time. Here, I've got some things to show you. Well, go on. Have a look.
What are these for?
You. All your birthdays come at once. A present for every year. They've just been sat in your room, waiting for you. But what's wrong?
What if I'm not Lawrence?
I wouldn't give these to anyone else.
I wish I could believe you. It would be so much easier.
Well, then why don't you?
When you're here talking, showing me photos and that, I almost do. Then you go again and I'm back to square one. It all evaporates. I'm left with nothing. Just a hollow shell.
This is Jack, isn't it? What's he been saying?
Nothing. They just took a swab, asked if I remembered anything. Why?
He thinks you're dead. Like the rest of them. That's why he's doing this test. To prove me wrong. It won't mean a thing. Believe me.
Why'd you say that?
Because I won't let it. I hadn't meant it to happen. Any of it. Things just got out of control. I knew the outcome before any of them. And the conclusions they'd draw. It was Colin I felt most sorry for. He'd done nothing wrong.
That was Jack on the phone.
What does he want?
They've had the DNA results back. There's no match.
I know.
What do you mean?
I didn't think there would be.
What?
I'm sorry.
But you've been adamant.
I know.
So does this mean we can get back to normal now?
No.
Why not?
It doesn't change anything. He's still Lawrence.
What?
I didn't want this to happen, Colin. You agreed to the test, not me.
I don't understand. Rachel, talk to me.
I tried to warn you.
Warn me about what? Tell me.
You're not his father. You never were.
Don't be ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. It's a fact. And not one that I'm particularly proud of either.
This is a joke, right?
I'd never have told you if it hadn't been for this. And he'd never have known.
This is bullshit, Rachel. Of course I'm his father. I was there. I cut the bloody cord. So when you went doolal, who was it made sure he was all right? Fed him in the middle of the night when he wouldn't latch on. Changed his nappies when you were so low you wouldn't even open your eyes of a morning. For God's sake, Rachel, don't piss about.
I'm not.
Then why are you saying all this?
Blame Jack.
No, fuck Jack, I'm asking you.
You said yourself he never looked like you. Did you never wonder why?
Oh, so whose is he then? You know, we haven't got a milkman, so you can't blame him.
You don't know him.
Oh, very convenient.
It happened before we got back together.
Oh, so I get it. So he gets you up the duff and chucks you, then you come crawling back to me.
I left him, actually.
Oh, really?
And as a matter of fact, he didn't know.
So whose son have I been mourning for the past 20 years? You owe me that much at least.
He still loved you.
You're lying.
No!
Then why don't you take the test as well?
I don't have to.
Who's more important to you? Him or me?
I wish you hadn't asked me that.
Where are you going? Rachel!
When I got to the ward, the bed was empty, sheets thrown back. Lawrence was nowhere to be seen.
Where is he? What have you done with him? Lawrence! Lawrence!
Rachel!
They've taken him!
He's just having a bath.
Calm down.
What are you doing here?
Colin rang.
Let's talk in a day room.
Come on, Rach. All right, calm down, calm down.
Why couldn't you have just left us alone?
Jack's told me everything.
You don't listen to him.
All that stuff about Morecambe, it wasn't true, was it?
He's lying.
What were you trying to do? Make me distrust him?
I have to find Lawrence.
Rachel, sit down.
Don't touch
Come on,
me!
sit down.
It's over, Rach.
We've been re-interviewing witnesses. One of them saw you leaving the flat carrying Lawrence wrapped in a sheepskin coat.
So what?
They never mentioned the coat before. When you ran into the police station to report him missing, you didn't have it. You were wet through.
It was raining.
What happened to the coat?
I've no idea.
It wasn't in the park.
Well, that doesn't prove anything.
You told them at the reconstruction you weren't wearing one. Yet it was freezing.
Rachel, tell the truth.
He's using you, Av, can't you see?
What happened?
I've told you.
Rach.
Somebody took him.
You weren't well. I should have realised
I
before.
was fine.
That's not true. Have you had?
None.
Stick your fingers down your throat, come on, or I'll do it for you.
I haven't taken any.
You promise?
Yeah. I couldn't even bloody well do that. Promise. Promise. Promise you won't tell anyone.
I promise.
Promise, Hubby.
I promise. Hey.
I wanted to be good at this.
You're all right.
I so wanted to be good at this.
20 years after the disappearance of Lawrence Ellis, police have this afternoon arrested the boy's mother, Rachel Ellis, on suspicion of murder. DI Jack Corey dismissed earlier reports of Lawrence's reappearance as totally unfounded.
We know who he is. His name's Liam. Liam Edwards. His parents have been on holiday. They saw his picture at the airport. Tell me, what happened?
He'd been crying for hours. It wasn't milk or a nappy. I tried all that. I tried walking round, winding him. But he wouldn't stop.
Where was Colin?
Work. I tried leaving him at first. In his room. Just shutting the door. But he just got worse. More and more angry. So I went back in and picked him up.
Go on.
I didn't even realise I was doing it. I just wanted him to be quiet. But he wouldn't. He just kept on screaming and screaming. Then, all of a sudden, he stopped.
He stopped breathing. For the benefit of the tape, the accused is nodding her head.
It was an accident.
You shook him?
Yeah.
Will you speak up, please?
Yes. But I didn't mean to kill him. It was an accident. I swear it was an accident.
Police divers searching gravel pits near Gorgate today have found what they believe to be the remains of missing toddler Lawrence Ellis.
They found the coat, too. What was left of it. Fleece fibres wrapped around his tiny bones. Like a pupa, warm in its cocoon. I'd taken Colin there once, to the gravel pits, years later. I wanted to tell him what had happened, but the words wouldn't come out. They'd built a sailing club where the dredges had been, with trees and grass all around the edge of the lake and people picnicking. We sat on a bench watching a windsurfer skimming back and forth. And as it turned over the spot where Lawrence lay, its sail flashed in the sunlight like a huge butterfly struggling to lift its wings out of the water before taking off over the lake again. My perfect little angel, flying in the warm air, out of harm's way.
In Lying Undiscovered, Rachel was played by Julia Ford, Colin by Nicholas Gleaves, Jack by Joe Deteen, and Avril by Denise Black. The young man was Ben Crowe, Rachel's mother, Gemma Churchill. The police spokesman was Andrew Harrison, the desk sergeant, Stephen Critchlow, and the newsreader, Francis Lyne. The music was composed by Nina Perry. Lying Undiscovered was written by Richard Monks and directed by Sally Avens.
Dungannon, a compelling drama based on real events. Some of the characters have been fictionalised and events changed for dramatic effect.
I have a dream this afternoon that Negroes will be able to buy a house or rent a house anywhere that their money will carry them, and they will be able to get a job.
Mommy, our Eileen is hogging the kitchen again, and Tommy and me have to make our tea yet.
Eileen, will you hurry out of here?
Oh, she always does that. And she leaves our washing drying over the banisters, a messy cow.
You can't dawdle when you have a house full like we have. Eileen!
Eileen, I have to make up the baby's bottle.
Eileen!
Poor wee thing is hungry.
Oh, God love him. You need a break, love, you and Tommy both.
Chance to be a fine thing.
Look, we're all on top of each other here. Can hardly breathe in this house. You two need to get out.
How can we, with Cahill here?
Oh, look after him. There's a great picture on in the Astor. That touch of mink. Cary Grant and Doris Day.
Oh, God, Mommy, I'd love it. Tommy and me haven't been out for ages.
Look, everybody needs a break now and again. There's life outside these four walls, you know.
Refill, Father.
Well, yes, why not? oh, not too much now, or you'll have me singing.
Oh, God forbid.
And you, Eamon?
Pour away, Patricia. The man probably hasn't had a decent drop of good Irish since he left.
Whoa!
You're not drinking like an Irishman anymore, Eamon, you know.
No way. Let me tell you, Con, there's more Irish bars in Los Angeles than Dungannon. Fact. Now, where was I?
The pool.
Oh, yes, the pool.
Well, as I was saying, Mary was going on at me for ages. See, it's a sort of status symbol out there about how when you visit other consultants' houses, they always show you their pool.
Here it's only accountants and parish priests do things like that.
Oh, you're a terrible man.
Con, let Eamon get a word in.
Oh, sorry, Eamon. Right, the pool.
Well, the upshot is, as soon as I get back home, it's going to be starting.
Oh, your own swimming pool, just like in the pictures. You hear that, Con?
I'm not deaf.
America's been good to you, Eamon.
Sure has, Father. The land of opportunity. Why, if I'd stayed here, I'd probably ended up just like...
Me?
What?
Con.
No, I didn't mean...
Oh, I'm only joking, Eamon. All I'm saying is, look, fair play to you. I've spent 10 years applying for every consultancy vacancy in every hospital in the 6 counties. And as soon as you step off the plane in America, you were snapped up right away.
Eamon knows all that.
All I'm wondering is, yeah, you've got a great life there, but would you have gone? Would you have left home and family if things had been different here?
Probably not.
What sort of question is that? His life's there now.
No, Patricia. That's fair enough. Sure, yes, I miss home. If I could live here with all that I've got there, well...
Aye, but you couldn't.
Con.
You'd be like me, as you said, poolless.
What?
Not, of course, that there's much use for swimming pools in Dungannon.
Ah, well, anyway, aren't you well out of it? Things will never change here.
See, in the States, doesn't matter who you are, what religion you are, the opportunities are there. As long as you're not black, of course. But then the blacks are demanding their rights now.
Oh, that Martin Luther King's a great man, a great man.
Could do with somebody like him here.
But anyway, you're doing all right, Con, aren't you? Lovely house, lawn overlooking the town. Pay big bucks for this in L.A.
Oh, yeah, we're all right. We are, up here.
There, Cahill, there.
Poor wee mate.
How's he doing, love?
Oh, he's hot, Mommy. He's awful hot.
Burning up, he is.
Look, Tommy and me will not go out tonight.
Ah, yes, you will, I'm telling you. You two need to get out of this house, you hear me?
Oh, no, Mommy.
Here, give me him. There. Oh, sure. Cahill'll be fine with his old granny, so he will. Get going now before I change my mind. Anyway, it'll make more room for the rest of us to turn round with you two out of the house.
In the county Tyrol, near the town of Dungannon, where there's many a ruction myself had a hand in. Bob Williamson lived a weaver by trade, and all of us thought of a stout orange blade.
Fine voice tonight, Father.
It's this party piece, that.
A mighty song, a mighty song. I was singing it at a function one time, and some GAA boys from next door heard and came in to sort me out. And when they saw it was a priest, oh, their faces.
Another verse, Father. Go on with the drinks in you.
Well, now, let's see if I can remember it. Oh, the 12th, of course. On the 12th of July, as it yearly did come, Bob played on the flute to the sound of the drum. You may talk of your harp or piano or lute, but there's nothing can rival the old orange flute.
More, Father. You must remember more.
But Bob the Deceiver, he took us all in, for he married a papish called Bridget McGinn. man turned papish himself and forsook the old cause that gave us our freedom, religion and law. If you'll excuse me, I just have to go.
Oh, it's all right. You know where it is, Father?
I'll find it.
Upstairs, first on the right.
Hey, some character, isn't he?
It's not easy stopping him once he starts singing.
Great song, though.
He sings that anywhere at the drop of a hat. It's one of those rare songs where you're not quite sure who'll be offended by it. It's as if by singing it we place ourselves above all that sectarian stuff, as if it's nothing to do with us. That's why we can laugh at it. Well, isn't that what it's saying?
What are you going on about, Patricia?
It's just interesting, don't you think?
He says, why should the devil have all the good tunes? That's why he sings it. Simple as that.
Hey, good point.
When I worked in Glasgow, if anyone sang that in a Catholic area, it would have caused a riot. But here in Dungannon, it's assumed nobody'll take offence.
Well, certainly not amongst our own well-mannered, civilised, middle-class collection of friends, it won't.
I don't know. Makes me a bit uneasy. It's as if we protested too much. You know what I mean?
The world is changing, Patricia. Everybody's against discrimination.
That's right. As a matter of interest, who cleans your house, Eamon?
What do you mean?
What colour's her skin?
Well, black.
And how many black consultants do you work with?
What? But all that's going to change. I mean, even here, surely all that sectarianism and stuff's on the way out. Hey, maybe Dungannon could lead the way.
I wouldn't hold my breath.
Now, where's that on the list, Raymond? Ah! Tea and biscuits. Thank you, love. Just put the tray down there. Yeah, lovely. Now, help yourself to a biscuit, Raymond. Have you got the list?
Here they are. The list of applicants for the Killyman Road estate.
Oh, good. 142 new houses. Pass them back to the council, why not?
And to you too, Mr. McMaster.
Right, Raymond. So, who are the lucky ones?
Danny Thomas.
Are we giving houses to children now?
The boy's 18.
Never.
He is. He's proposed to Michelle Dunlop.
Oh, lucky man, eh?
So, they'll be needing a house.
No, not Danny. Better not. The families must come first, only fair. Danny can wait his turn.
But he doesn't have to. Look, we don't have enough families, even married couples, to fill the new houses. Not in Dungannon, anyway.
Right, so then Danny and Michelle get an early wedding present, eh?
To continue, from Moygashaw, James and Eleanor Hill, 2 children. From Castle Caulfield, David and Evelyn Stewart, no children, but they're trying for a family.
Good. Go on.
Jennifer Smith, another one from Moygashaw, single.
Skates on, Raymond. The meeting's starting in half an hour. Let's hear the rest.
Give me one good reason why any nationalist councillor should turn up at that council meeting.
Because you're nationalist councillors elected by the people of the nationalist ward.
Aye, and much good it does us when they won't even build GAA facilities in the new sports ground. And until they do, we will continue our boycott.
The least you can do is turn up and represent your own people.
Like you, Jim, eh? Turning up faithfully to record your vote. What's the point when you get kicked in the teeth every time? Look, can't you get it into your head? Nothing will ever change here till we get rid of the border.
So you do nothing?
Wrong. We're sending petitions to the United Nations. The President of the United States, His Holiness the Pope.
Precisely.
What?
Nothing. You're doing nothing. Why not put pressure on the people who can actually do something about it? Like Westminster, Stormont...
Look, that will be recognising the constitutional position of the 6
These
counties.
people couldn't care less about constitutional positions. Look, they just want a fair chance at decent housing. At least they can say I've turned up to fight their corner. Hello, Angela.
Now, how did I know you boys would be sitting here?
Now look at you. Sure, you're like a June bride. We're waiting for the others. Do you want a drink?
No.
You're looking for Tommy?
No, Tommy's outside.
Well, what can we do for you?
When are we going to get a house?
Look, Angela.
Ask the unionists. They're the ones with the power, not us. We're just the second-class citizens here.
But I am asking you, all of you. We voted for you as our councillors. What are you doing apart from sitting around in bars drinking?
Now, Angela,
And will my family have a decent place to live?
There aren't any houses.
There are. Aren't you doling out 142 of them tonight at the council meeting in half an hour's time?
Angela, you know rightly that...
I'll have one of those, thank you very much.
Those houses on the Killyman Road, Protestants only.
So?
So you won't get them.
That's it.
That's it.
And that's why we won't set one foot in that meeting. It's a brick wall. What's the point? 7 nationalist councillors in the West Ward representing half the population of the town, as against 14 unionists in the other 2 wards representing the other half of the population. Simple maths. A guaranteed majority.
I believe gerrymandering is the technical term.
Jim,
Look, he's right, Angela. But somebody has to keep an eye on them, and I'm going. Anybody else coming?
Right, now we'll move on to the business of the new houses the council has built on the Killyman Road. Councillor Hardy, I believe that in conjunction with the Housing Committee you have arrived at a list of suggested tenants.
Yes, indeed.
Excellent. Then I suggest we proceed to a vote.
Just a second, Mr. McMaster.
Yes?
I haven't seen the tenancy list.
Well, if you...
Now, I don't know the names of those lucky people who'll be moving into those houses on the Killyman Road. But I can say with absolute authority that they will all have one thing in common.
Mr. Corrigan...
Now, every last one of them is a Protestant.
Mr. Corrigan, as you well know, those are unionist houses in a unionist ward.
Protestant houses.
Whatever you prefer. But for the record, and I see we have the local press here tonight, the agreement, the gentleman's agreement that we have had for the last 20 years. Nationalist councils allocate houses in the nationalist ward. And we do the same.
But there never are new houses in the nationalist ward. The council hasn't built a Catholic house for 34 years.
Have you finished?
And why? Because every Catholic householder means another Catholic voter, and you don't want too many of them. Oh no. God knows what might happen. There's only one way a Catholic can get a council house in this town, and that's if another Catholic vacates it, usually in a coffin.
And I'd like to thank Councillor Corrigan for his passionate words, but I'm afraid none of this can alter the simple purpose of tonight's meeting, to allocate the houses on the Killyman Road. So, if I can have a show of hands. Right, those for the recommended tenants of the Housing Committee? Ah, yes, that's 14. Yeah. And those against? Oh. Going, Mr. Corrigan?
Great picture.
Oh, I did too.
Give us a chip.
No,
I paid for them.
No.
Give us a chip.
No, get your hands off. You had yours. Go away.
Ah, go on, one chip won't kill you.
No, you greedy pig.
A great night, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I just want to get to bed now. Oh, God, drop the key. Oh, Mommy, I didn't want to get you up.
Angela, love.
What's wrong?
Look, don't be worried.
Is it Cahill? How's Cahill?
I've called out the doctor.
Ann Street, baby boy. Probably nothing, but he's disabled.
Good job I wasn't drinking so I could drive.
Give her some welly, Patricia.
There's a speed limit, you know.
Tell her to get back to me bed.
I'm going as fast as I can. Oh, calm. Look, up ahead.
Oh, no, not again.
Now, don't you say anything.
Would you look who it is? Bertie Turner. That's all I need.
Con?
Be special's name?
You know our name.
Con. Patricia McCluskey.
And you?
Con McCluskey.
Why? What's your business here in Dungannon?
We live here, Bertie.
Is that so?
I'm a Dr. Bertie. Your brother's doctor.
Get out of the car, doctor.
But he searched us this morning.
Is that right? Get out of the car.
Look, Bertie, I'm rushing to attend a patient, a very sick patient.
I said get out of the car.
So we rushed here as fast as we could. We told them we were on call. Made no difference.
Would you like another cup of tea, Mrs. McCluskey?
No, I've put you to enough trouble already.
Oh, sure, it's no trouble.
Honestly, no. Anyway, he'll be done in a minute and we'll be off. He's very tired.
Oh, here they come now.
Well, he should sleep now. Just need to keep that temperature down. I'll give you a prescription. Oh, Angela, this is my wife, Patricia.
Oh, hello, Mrs. McCluskey. I'm Angela McChrystal.
Pleased to meet you.
My bag. I left it upstairs. Patricia, could you...
No, I'll get it.
Please, let me. You've been through enough for one night. The top of the stairs? That house, Con.
What about it?
When I went upstairs, there were 5 beds, all in one tiny room. All clean and tidy, but not an inch to swing a cat in. And no sign of a bathroom.
So?
I knew that some people lived like that. Of course I did. But I'd never seen it for myself.
The poverty.
When I was in Glasgow during the war, organising housing for evacuees, I never came across conditions like that, even in the Gorbals.
Try any of the tenements. Northland Road. There's 8 families to a house and 1 toilet between them. It's all the same in that part of Dungannon. High rent, poor conditions.
But that's awful.
I know. Put your foot down, love. I'm done in.
God, you look awful, Angela.
Thanks.
Oh, you know what I mean. Tired looking.
Well, you can be sure it wasn't from a night of passion. What with my ma sleeping in the next room.
Cahill again?
Oh, poor wee mite. He had us up all night. Had to get the doctor.
It's that house. You and Tommy having to share a small house with your mother and sisters. You'll have to get out of it. For Cahill's sake, at least.
Don't I know it?
We all have to get out of them. Rabbit hutches, that's all they're good for, them houses.
Morning, lady.
Oh, Michelle.
Hiya, Michelle. What's up with you? Look. What's wrong with your hat? Oh, my God, a rat! Again!
Oh, Michelle, it's good!
Isn't it good?
Oh, did Danny choose it himself?
I think I'm stupid. Oh, Michelle, come out at lunchtime. We'll do a bit of window shopping. Get a few things for your bottom drawer.
Yeah, I suppose we'll have to get in the way of being a housewife, looking at curtains and carpets and stuff, getting all grown up.
God, your life will change now, all right, girl.
How do you mean?
What about you and Danny look at each other? I'd say you'd be pregnant by Christmas.
Angela, you're awful.
Just what we need in this town. More wee Protestants.
Better be off, love. I have a new secretary starting this morning.
That right?
Fine-looking woman, too. Not sure our marriage is safe.
Go to work, Con.
You're not jealous?
Go to work.
Hey, what's up? Look, I'm sorry about last night. All that talk about America. I just let it all get on top of me. Anyway, have to go.
It's not about that.
What?
How do you do that, Con?
Do what?
Look at you, breezing off as if last night hadn't happened. That house, that child living in those conditions.
Is this about Ann Street?
Doesn't it make you angry?
What good does anger do? I see things and I just have to put them behind
Well,
me.
I don't have to.
What?
That house, I have never seen anything like that. And you tell me that you see that every day.
Yes, I see it. I watch people living like that. It doesn't mean to say that I don't care, but I'm a doctor, Patricia. A doctor, not a bloody politician.
I just love this place. All these beautiful curtains. Look at these. Do you ever see the like? If you'd your choice, Michelle, what would you pick?
I think I'd go for those lovely velvet ones. Gorgeous, that is. Hey, your Tommy working here today?
He's probably feeding about in the storeroom.
Think he'd knock something off for us?
Oh, sure he would.
See you, you're so lucky, Angela. Been able to get stuff cheap and all.
Me? Sure, I'd have put it. Be a different matter when I get a house of my own. Sure, I'd have it lovely.
Oh, these sort of red ones. That'd be my choice.
Hey, don't be touching what you can't afford.
You idiot.
You're putting a heart across me there, Tommy.
That's swell for you girls taking your ease.
It's our lunch break. Can't work all the time.
Here you're going to be a child bride, Michelle. Congratulations.
News travels fast.
And even more congrats are due. Look, here in the newspaper.
Mom.
See, there you are. You and Danny are on the list.
Let me see that.
You've got a house.
What? I never thought we'd hear so quickly.
I'm really pleased for you, Michelle.
Congratulations.
Isn't it great?
Brilliant.
Take it easy, Angela. You're frightened my customers away.
Look at this. Why? Tell me why. Why is it that some slip of a girl picking out curtains while Susie, me and so many others were married with children and we're still waiting for a house?
Angela.
There is no justice in it. That's what I can't accept.
Look, I'll go on turning up to the council, trying to get you a place of your own, Angela. But justice, don't look for that. There's none of that to be had here. Not for the likes of us. But we just have to keep trying.
I just want a house. Mrs. McCluskey.
Mrs. McChrystal, Angela. Oh, please pardon the intrusion.
Sure.
It's just, I came to see... How's Cathal?
Oh, he's much better, thanks.
Oh, I'm glad.
Do you want to come in, Mrs. McCluskey?
No, no. I just wanted to say, to offer... Angela, if there is anything I can do...
I don't...
Oh, here's your husband. I'll leave you now. Hello, Mr. McChrystal.
Oh, Mrs. McCluskey. What did she want?
I don't know. But she's a decent woman, I'd say. Not many like her come down here to the likes of us.
Whoa, good shot there, Father. Not bad for a beginner.
It's not easy, this putting, but I'm learning. You've a grand sight here, Carl. Overlooking the town. It's beautiful.
It is, isn't it? Look, I don't know where Patricia's got to. Do we want another drink?
Well,
Sorry, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh,
Hello, Father.
I'm glad you've arrived, Patricia. I'm afraid I'm not a good putter. Bridge now, that's another matter.
Where were you?
I went down to Ann Street to see that boy, Cathal McChrystal.
Why?
Patricia, will you take over? I'm really no good at this game.
I'm going inside.
Look, we're in the middle of a game, Patricia.
I said...
Look, we're just trying to enjoy this, beautiful. Isn't it, Patricia? I said we're just trying to enjoy...
Isn't that just the problem? Isn't it exactly?
What are you talking about?
We're up here enjoying our evenings. And down there in the town, down there below us, those slums, Angela and all of them only half a mile away. Look, I can't pretend this isn't happening anymore.
It's just a fact of life here, Patricia. You know that. Catholic councillors giving out Catholic houses and Protestant councillors giving out Protestant houses. It's how it's always been.
But there are no Catholic houses to give out now. That's the point.
I know. But with time. I'm not saying it's right or fair. But question that and there'll be trouble. There'll be people only too willing to exploit all that. And you know where that would lead.
Damn.
Right, Sheila. Down a minute. Damn.
Well, so much for that then.
Oh, sorry, love. Look, I'll be right back.
Oh, the mood's gone right off me.
Angela.
Well, it has. Look, this is just ridiculous. Here's us two married people with a child and we can't even...
I know, love. I know.
Well, I've had about enough of this. I'm going to do something about it.
What?
I don't know, but something. There must be something.
What's this?
What's it look like?
What do you want an exercise book for?
Ah, it's what we want it for.
We?
Look, if our own councillors can't or won't do anything for us, then we'll do it for ourselves.
Do what?
Look, Susie, I've got this idea. We'll knock on all the doors in Ann Street. Every Catholic house in Dungannon, we'll knock on the doors.
Michelle's just behind you.
Right, okay. Now, let's get organised. I want to know who's living where, for how long, and what they're paying in rent, how many years they've been on the waiting list. We'll record the whole lot in this book.
But, Angela, won't this get us into trouble?
Susie, love, you've already got trouble. 3 years you and Paul have been married. Have you spent more than a week under the same roof? You can't even live with your husband because there just isn't the room. Look, Susie, trust me. It's the only way we'll ever get anything done. Even McMaster can't argue with the facts.
Oh, Angela, I don't know.
It's our only way. Here, Susie, you can take it all down. Please. You were always the writer and speller.
Jim, wait a minute. Ah, they're up the green flag round, my men. Oh, so you're coming to the meeting now?
We are not. Look, we got a letter from McMaster, signed by the 6 of us.
Well, why?
Reminding him of the nationalist position on the constitutional situation of the 6 counties.
He'll be shaking in his shoes.
Hey, listen. What's that?
And you're all very welcome, gentlemen. Now, before we convene this meeting, I think I should... where's... What on earth is that commotion outside? Raymond, have a look out the window, will you?
Well, well. There's something going on in the town square. You'd better take a look, Mr. McMaster.
If it's not one thing, it's another in this town. What? What's that band doing in our town square?
It's a crowd of women and children.
Crowds? Placards? A band? What on earth is all this?
Some sort of deputation?
A mob, Raymond. A mob. That's what it is. Well, they're not coming in here. No, sir. Raymond, take a few of the boys down there and see they don't get up the steps. Let them see who's running this town.
Justice for the homeless! Oh, isn't it great, Susie? Everybody, keep together, keep together. Hold those placards higher. They'll have to take notice of us now.
Oh, look up there! See him, McMaster, looking out of the window. Look at the old face on him.
And look, there's some of his cronies at the top of the steps. They're not going to let us in.
Well, we're not going to stand for that, are we?
No chance. We're going to make them listen to us. Come on!
Come on,
Come on, everyone!
For the homeless!
Hold the placards higher!
Justice for young married couples!
Justice! Justice for young married couples!
Don't back! You can't all come in here! Go back down the steps! Go back or we'll call the police!
Would you stop? Quit pushing! We have a petition! We demand to be heard!
Angela, give me the petition. I'll take it in.
Good man, Jim.
Oh, you're not going to...
Oh, would you take your hands off me? Don't you dare push me down the steps! Legionist, get the shippers to Little Rock!
Discrimination, Alabama!
So you see, in that exercise book is information that should shame this council. In it is recorded how many families are in each house, how long the people have been married, what they're paying in rent, because they are paying rent, even for the hovels they're living in. Have a read, gentlemen. You won't believe it, or maybe you will. For now, they're only asking for one thing. That every member of the council, both nationalist and unionist, attend a special meeting in 2 days' time to hear the views of the people. And we demand that you all be present.
They're getting restless.
Biggest crowd we've ever had, actually. The unions better come.
You think they'll come? Especially McMaster?
They've had plenty of notice.
Where the hell is he?
Look, he'll turn up. They all will. You women really laid it in the line. They can't ignore that summons. They'll come.
I bet none of them will come.
Look, I'm telling you, they'll be here.
That's it. They're not coming. They're 40 minutes late already.
Susie, they will. They'll have to.
Didn't fizz in them. Us collecting all that stuff. None of them. Not even our own councillors. They've all ignored us. We've wasted our time and may as well give up.
No. I'm sorry, but that can't be right.
What's she doing here?
Mrs. McCluskey.
You can't give up. Not after so much hard work. And people's hopes being dashed again. In 20 years, no one's challenged them. And those that could, that should. We just stood back and did nothing. Now's the time to prove that you won't be beaten. You won't be fobbed off. You take the battle to them again and again until they're forced to listen. We should have a name so they know who they're dealing with. Get ourselves organised. Divide responsibilities. And be sure the council has nothing on us. Get permission for every march, every meeting. Dress smartly. Everything above board. Everything within the law. That's the way to do it. They would love to depict us as wild troublemakers.
You've a lovely house here.
Pardon?
Gorgeous. You could fit my place into your living room.
Beautiful.
And you've a lovely garden. I'd love a wee garden.
Yes, we're very lucky. We're very comfortable here. Angela, what happened tonight? You've started something, you know that, don't you?
I hope we have.
When I said if there was anything I could do, I think I can. I want to.
Mr. McMaster.
Hmm? Ah, Mrs. McChrystal, isn't it? How was your meeting?
We managed without you.
Aye, we did.
Oh, Mrs. McCluskey. I didn't see you there. To what do we owe this?
Spare me the niceties, Mr. McMaster. I'm not here as the doctor's wife. Myself and these other ladies have come to introduce ourselves. The Committee of the Homeless Citizens League.
I don't quite understand.
Oh, but you will, Mr. McMaster. You soon will. We'll be picketing the next meeting of the council, and the one after that, if necessary. We're on your back, and we'll be there until there are Catholic houses all over Dungannon. Have a nice day.
Hi, Angela. Hi, Michelle. Want to hand me your packing?
Oh, no, we're fine.
You know, it's such a shame. These prefabs are palaces to what I'm living in. Indoor toilet, a bathroom, the space in your kitchen. To think of them just left lying empty when you all move out to the Killyman Road.
Oh, no, who told you that? They won't be lying empty. The council's going to knock them all down.
What?
Sell them off as hen houses or something. Are you all right, Angela? You've gone as white as a sheet.
And McMaster confirmed it?
Yes. I went straight to his house. He made a joke of it.
Right. We take this to the very top. I'm going to ring Joe Stewart. It's about time the leader of the Nationalist Party in Stormont should know about what's going on here. Let's call a meeting in the parish hall. The time has come to share our council's dirty little secret with the world. I have here 3 letters. One to the British ambassador in Dublin, one to 10 Downing Street, and one to the Council of Europe. And we'll go on writing letters, holding up placards, taking this higher and wider until there's not a person alive doesn't know what's going on in this town. And of course, last but not least, we sent a copy of our petition to Joe Stewart up in Stormont. Now, let's see if he can get any action from the Minister of Housing.
In answer to the question tabled by the leader of the Nationalist Party, I have received from Dungannon Town Council the information he requested. The estate of prefabricated houses he refers to has been designated a slum area, and as such the council intends to clear it for redevelopment.
May I respectfully point out to the Housing Minister that Fairmont Park is very far from a slum.
Have proof of that?
Every proof. This document here, compiled by a respected citizen of the town, Mrs. Patricia McCluskey, and her Homeless Citizens League.
Yes!
Give those houses to the Homeless Minister.
That is not in my power.
Of course it is.
Whose power is it? It is fair to say that as far as that particular council is concerned, there are certain people who want to live in certain areas. And let us be frank about it. We know that is so even in the city of Belfast. It just so happens that the houses being completed at this stage are in a particular area. But there are other houses to follow which are in a different area.
Mr. McMaster, I hear there'll be a big crowd coming to the council meeting tonight.
Oh, you can bet on it. They've had their hour up at Stormont yesterday, but they'll see tonight that I'm well able for them. Well able. I assure you, I'm very happy to consider the idea of a change of use for the prefabs. But unfortunately, I'm bound by the Council's previous resolution on the subject.
We're not talking about changing the British Constitution.
Look, I can categorically say There will be more houses built in the nationalist ward.
How can you expect me to believe a word you're saying when you haven't built a house for a Catholic family in more than 3 decades?
I'm saying we will.
When? They need homes now.
In good time, Mrs. McCluskey. All in good time. Now, other business?
He's burning up. What is it, Doctor?
Pneumonia. Come on, I'm taking him straight to hospital. Let's get him out of here. You'll never be right living here. You need a house of your own.
First fresh air, he's having a week. Poor wee mite.
He's a new fella since he's come out of the hospital.
Well, there goes the last of the removal vans. Look at those prefabs. It's a disgrace, so it is. Perfectly good houses, bathrooms, inside toilets. Our wee Cahill wouldn't know himself in one of those.
I think McMaster will let us have them.
Him? Never. It'd take a... Wait a minute.
What?
Look. There. The front doors.
What about them?
See, the keys. They've left them in the doors for the housing officer to collect.
So?
Wait here.
Angela, where are you going? Angela!
Well struck, Minister.
Thank you, Edward. Have you played here before?
No, never. I'm a member of Dungannon.
Oh, you must come up to Belfast more often. I thought you'd like this. Thought it'd be an ideal location for our little private chat.
Oh, yes, indeed, Minister.
The thing is, we are anxious to tie this up now, this business with the Homeless Citizens League. Bring it to a close. That McCluskey woman is chalking up more column inches with every passing day. To be honest, I'm sick of the sight of her in the papers.
Oh, I'm with you there, Minister. Of course I am. But we can't stop her. She doesn't need us.
Maybe not. But the McChrystal woman, she wants a house so much? Give her a house.
Pardon, Minister?
You're shot, Edward.
Oh, who's that?
Oh, it's all right. I'll get it. Lazy bones. Susie!
Congratulations.
What?
Here. Seen the paper? The housing list got what you wanted, didn't you? You got yourself a house.
Me?
We're having a meeting about it down in the hall. Come in. Nice and cosy, isn't it, Angela? One for you and one for your mammy.
Susie, you don't even know what you're talking about. Mommy hasn't put in for a house.
We're really disappointed in you, Angela.
Stop this. Stop it. Can't you see what's going on here? Divide and rule. That's why McMaster's done this.
Well, whatever it is. You got a house now, Angela, and that'll be it. Whether you like it or not, you were our backbone. Without you, we're nothing.
I won't take it.
What?
Of course I won't. If I did, I'd be saying their way of doing things is fair. No, I'll never take a house. Not until every one of us has got a house by rights.
Angela, look.
Anyway, I've got a better idea. Look here.
What's this?
The keys for every house in Fairmont Park.
Where'd you get them?
They were left in the doors. I just took them, made copies. We're flying now.
What do you mean?
I mean, we squat in the prefabs.
Squat?
Yeah, take possession of them and not come out until they give us houses of our own.
You sure, Angela? You think it'll work?
Can't you see their own faces?
No. It would be breaking the law. It's not the right thing to do.
It's the only thing to do. We've done everything else. We've written letters, protested, carried placards, picketed the council offices.
Look, everybody, up to now, we've done everything by the book. Got permission for our marches, all within the law. No one can criticise us.
And it's all come to nothing.
This is a stunt, Angela. The parades, the risks we've all taken with our homes and families. If any of this is going to make a lasting difference, this has to be more than a quick smash and grab. We're fighting here for something bigger. We're fighting for social justice. Social justice.
Well, you might be Mrs. McCluskey. The rest of us just want a place to live. Look, it's now or never. The bulldozers are coming tomorrow to knock the whole lot down. Let's put it to the vote. Everyone in favour of squatting, raise your hands.
It was a vote, Patricia. You didn't make the decision.
But they listened to me. I told them it has to be unanimous. They all squat or nobody does.
They'd be breaking the law.
They were right to listen to you. It could only bring trouble. They think you're right.
And what do you think?
I don't know.
But how can you start setting society right with the wrong? If we break the law now, what example is that to set for the young ones that are coming after us?
So what are you going to do?
Nothing. People are just too frightened.
And what about our house? We have to take that house,
I
Angela.
can't do that. You know I can't.
I don't know any such thing.
Look, I promised. And what about the others?
What about them? But they're not your family, Angela.
Tommy, it's not a
They're
case
not
of
your
whether...
son, your husband. Listen to that. Look, we've just got to get out of here. I want that house, Angela. Cahill needs it. We've just got to get a house.
You know something? You're absolutely right.
Angela, what's wrong?
Fancy a trip out, Susie? Come on, bring your coat. We might be some time.
It's 11 o'clock, for goodness sake.
And in exactly 12 hours' time, the bulldozers will be knocking down Fairmont Park. We've got to move now.
You mean squat? But the vote?
Oh, to hell with the vote. It's now or never. If we don't go now, it'll be too late. Come on, we'll go and round the others up.
What?
Colin, they're in Fairmont Park.
They're what?
Angela's just off the phone. She's got a few families to move into the prefabs overnight.
But the vote?
They must have changed their minds. Anyway, it's the talk of the town, she says. And somebody's tipped off the papers. She says there's reporters everywhere and TV cameras.
Ah, who knows? Maybe this is a cause for a celebration.
Mr. McMaster, I take it you have heard about the squatters in the prefabs in Fairmont Park.
Who hasn't? A disgraceful act of self-promotion and lawlessness, which I hope every right-thinking person will see fit to condemn, as I presume you yourself do, Mr. Corrigan.
Those women have been plunged into depression, even made suicidal, by the hopeless situation they find themselves and their families in. They are there now, setting up home in these prefabs, and there they intend to stay. What do you propose to do about it?
Oh, there's plenty we propose to do about it, Mr. Corrigan. The Housing Committee will recommend court proceedings to be taken against all illegal occupiers of council property.
Shame!
No legal action will be taken against any persons who leave before a set deadline. However, those squatters who do remain will never in the future be considered for rehousing by this council. I think that should settle matters down. Wouldn't you say so, Mr. Corrigan?
I had to do it, Mrs. McCluskey. It isn't right. I know that. I know how we voted. But I just couldn't let them knock down perfectly good houses, now could I? And of course I'll be collecting rent. Everyone's agreed on that, to show them we're not homeless because we haven't got the money. We've all got jobs. We've all paid rent, higher than the council's asking. Are you annoyed? It is against the law, I know.
So?
What?
You know, sometimes, Angela, to be middle class is a terrible handicap. Anyway, the families are in now. But how on earth are they going to stay here?
Who knows? We've got a sort of barricade at the entrance to the estate. More symbolic than anything else.
Here, I've written to the Minister, William Morgan, and copies to all the papers, asking him to leave you be.
Oh, that's great! The more publicity, the better. Wait a minute. There's something going on out there.
What is it?
McMaster, with 4 men from the council.
Mrs. McCluskey, what a surprise. I didn't realise you were in need of accommodation.
Mr. McMaster, I didn't realise you had a sense of humour.
I don't understand your antagonism, Mrs. McCluskey. After all, you and I, we're cut from the same cloth. We've struggled to make something of ourselves, of this town. Let's face it, under different circumstances, you'd be standing next to me.
I don't think so.
Are you really going to allow... I mean, look, there's political ambition in these people. In fact, I smell the Republicans at work here.
Yes, they're the answer to everything, aren't they? Wouldn't you just love that? But these people don't care about politics. They don't want to hear about flags or constitutions or the border. They just want houses.
As a Christian, let them stay, Mr. McMaster. The people here, all they want is a decent place to live.
What you ask is not in my gift, Mrs. McChrystal. You are trespassing on council property. You have broken the law.
And you'll be breaking the law if you try and put them out. This isn't the Wild West, Mr. McMaster. You want rid of the squatters? Then talk to your lawyer.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry about that. This matter will go before the next petty session.
We'll see you there.
1 month, and you're all out.
Father Carn.
What? Oh, Corn. Jim, it's you. You've been down to the prefabs then?
We have. We're going back there now. Come with us, Father. Take a look yourself. Sure, they'll all be in need of some spiritual comfort.
Put in an appearance. Up their morale a bit.
Oh, I would. I will.
Look, Father, if Christ himself was on earth now, he would at least have gone to see those squatters.
Do you know, I'd forgotten. Due back in the house for a parish meeting. But next week, yes. Aye. Can you tell him I'll be coming?
And put the wind up him all right.
Come on down, Jim. Let's give them some support, even if the clergy can't or won't.
Well, how do you think we're doing?
Oh, isn't it good to see everybody settling in?
Just like normal.
Like it should be.
Though I hear no one else will squat. Not until Morgan's made his decision whether we can stay or not.
That's why this meeting is so important.
Typical, isn't it? We started all this, but it's the men that get the trip up to Stormont. Where were they earlier?
I know. But we've got one chance with this. We need the minister to take it seriously, to know this isn't just a mother's meeting.
Still sticks in my craw.
Mine too, but we need the men now.
Hello, ladies. Settled in, I see.
No thanks to you lot.
Look, Angela, we've been having a discussion, and the nationalist representatives have clubbed together, and here's a cheque for £200, just to help out a bit.
Well, you know what you
Keep it. We don't need money. We need houses. It's easy to write a cheque. We'd have preferred your presence when you were needed.
Taking his time, isn't he? We're here 20 minutes. You think he's forgotten?
Oh, he'll not forget. This is big news now. The minister has to be seen to give us a hearing. Anyway, he can't just ignore me as the leader of the Nationalist Party.
And you think he'll accept our petition?
Oh, he'll have to. But it's how he acts afterwards that counts. And what if he does nothing, then what?
We chain ourselves to the railings outside Parliament and stay there until he does. I'm not joking.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that, Colin. Ah, at last.
Gentlemen.
Good morning, Minister.
Good morning.
I trust you had a pleasant drive up from Dungannon.
Oh, pleasant enough, thank you, Minister.
Do take a seat, please. Now, what is it I can do for you?
Minister, let me introduce you to Dr. Con McCluskey, a prominent supporter of the Homeless Citizens League.
How do you do, Doctor?
Pleased to meet you, Minister.
Of course, your name is familiar to me. I believe your wife is the driving force behind the League.
She's one of the many, Minister.
Indeed. It's such an unfortunate situation we have there at the moment. Very unfortunate indeed.
Well, we're hoping that our meeting today will go some way to resolving matters.
Well, yes, of course. Anything I can do. But first and foremost, I must point out that the ultimate responsibility for housing in Dungannon rests with the Urban District Council. It's important we all understand that.
Oh, we understand it all too well.
That, in a nutshell, is the problem.
What precisely do you mean, Dr. McCluskey?
Well,
with respect, Minister, rather than get into our well-rehearsed arguments about the unrepresentative nature of the council, I propose we stick with the immediate issues.
Which are?
Over the past fortnight, 37 families comprising 126 people, who include 67 children, mostly under 5 years of age, have moved into the empty prefabs in Fairmont Park.
I'm aware of that, Mr. Stewart, but...
well, surely, Minister, the fact that these people are willing, indeed delighted, to move into houses the council has earmarked for slum clearance speaks volumes for the conditions that they are presently living in.
Well,
and the council is currently making plans to evict these people.
But, Mr. Stewart, as I said, the sole responsibility for
All
housing...
we're asking at this stage is that those people be allowed to stay there until they get new permanent houses of their own.
I repeat, that decision rests solely...
It would ease tension greatly if they could stay. Is that too much to ask?
Furthermore, Minister, Dungannon Council has had enough bad publicity as it is. Can you imagine what effect the forcible eviction of 126 men, women and children would look like? And what effect it would have? This is the television age, Minister. Those pictures would go around the world. Dungannon would be linked with Alabama.
Yes, and all of this can be so easily avoided, Minister.
So you met the deputation, Minister?
I did, Edward.
And how did they acquit themselves?
They made their case.
Such as it was.
Such as it was.
Exactly. What did I say, Minister? Troublemakers, the whole lot of them. Hell-bent on stirring up the passions of the unthinking and ill-educated.
Strange you should say that.
Strange?
Yeah. They said exactly the same thing about your council.
Oh, they'd say anything, those people. Do anything for publicity.
That's certainly true.
Pardon, Minister?
And it seems they made all sorts of influential contacts in London, Washington, New York. Anywhere you care to name, in fact. Indeed, I believe the American ambassador to Ireland will shortly be calling on your Mrs. McCluskey.
The American ambassador?
No less a one.
See? Stop at nothing.
Dare say you're right. Yeah. Certainly not doing the image of this little province of ours any good.
Well, that's what it's all about, if you want my opinion. That and attracting attention to themselves.
Perhaps so. But anyway, Edward, you yourself have become something of a famous man lately. Been attracting a lot of attention to yourself one way or another.
Thank you, Minister.
Did I say that was a compliment?
But, Minister, surely you're not serious.
I needn't go into details, Mr. McMaster. But after consultation, we've drawn up details of a 3-point agreement in this letter. Allow me to read it to you. Dear Dr. McCluskey,
Since you brought the deputation to see me, I have been in touch with Mr. McMaster and settled on a 3-point agreement. 1. Dungannon Council will be building new houses in the nationalist ward
as a matter of urgency. 2. Squatters who cooperate with the council will then be fully eligible for these new houses.
3. In the meantime, I can state publicly that the squatters are free to stay in Fairmount Park until the council is in a position to rehouse them.
Dr. McCluskey, sorry for interrupting your celebrations. I'm from the People, doing a story on the Dungannon affair.
An English journalist, don't see many of them around here.
Just want to congratulate you.
No, you're talking to the wrong person. It was the women did this. The women and nobody else. Women like my wife here.
We did nothing. We changed nothing.
What?
Angela and the others are allowed to stay on in the prefabs, and I'm grateful for that.
Surely, Mrs. McCluskey, what you've done, all of you, well, I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't significant. You won, Mrs. McCluskey. The small person's victory over officialdom and prejudice. That's the story I'm writing.
Then don't.
What?
They bought us off with a few houses, that's all.
But that's what it was all about, wasn't it?
It's a sticking plaster on a mortal wound.
Can I quote that?
We didn't win, but we've started something. And that's the important bit. And we'll go on fighting for social justice. It's not me you should be talking to. I just joined the bandwagon once it was rolling.
But Patricia, you were central.
I was a follower, nothing more. The one you should be talking to is Angela McChrystal.
Angela McChrystal.
You see, he hasn't even heard of her.
Well, name is familiar.
It was Angela who refused to be cowed, refused to be humiliated, refused to be treated as less than equal. She's the one you should be writing about. Ever heard of Rosa Parks?
Wasn't she something to do with the Alabama bus boycott in 1955?
Something? She was the Alabama bus boycott. Arrested for refusing to give up her seat to a white man.
Of course, I remember.
Well, we have our own Rosa Parks. Our Dungannon Rosa Parks. Put that in your paper.
Well, I did get a new house eventually. I was the last to be given one. And I was happy. I wanted nothing more. It was all I ever wanted. I had no real interest in politics, apart from community issues. But I watched all the developments that followed from our simple demands for fair treatment. Patricia and Con went on to found the Campaign for Social Justice, and 5 years later, in 1968, the Northern Ireland Civil Rights Association was formed. And the rest is history. But some still remember. For before the peace process, before the Anglo-Irish Agreement, before Blair and Ahern, before Hume and Adams, before Trimble and Mallon, before all of them, it was the women of Dungannon who stood up for what was right.
We shall overcome someday.
That was Dungannon, which was adapted for radio by John P. Rooney from a screenplay by Chris Neal. Angela was played by Susan Lynch, Patricia by Stella McCusker, Con by Gerard McSorley, and Susie by Nicky Doherty. McMaster was James Ellis, Raymond Kieran Lagan, Jim Connor Grimes, Morgan Gordon Fulton, Michelle Sheila O'Kane, and Tommy James Doran. Other parts were played by members of the cast. Dungannon was directed in Belfast by Stephen Wright.